Last week I was doing a program about the situation between Marcellus Wiley, former NFL player, and his wife, Annemarie. I didn't actually get to finish that program. It got cut off early, but that's quite all right because we're going to go ahead and finish it up tonight. Earlier this morning, apparently there was a special guest who was taking a look at the program. Marcellus Wiley himself came across the program and spent a time there taking a look at the documents that we had gotten, since I was really the only place that has it posted anywhere for you to actually read what her divorce filing actually said. So Marcellus read that this morning on his YouTube channel. I got it posted here, as a matter of fact, on the business, on the post page. So if you want to, you can go ahead and check that out. However, he thanked me for posting it. That's great, because I'm not done. I'd like to talk about Annemarie now. I want to talk about Annemarie and the things that I did not get to post about last week or get to mention last week. Oh, we gonna finish this up tonight. And before you get to feeling sorry for her, before you get to doing that, I just thought there were a few things we should go over. Before I say that, this is not intended to attack. This is not intended to demean, degrade, destroy. That is not my purpose, my intention, or anything else for doing this. This is a teaching situation, and it's very, very important because we're talking about warning signs. And Annemarie Wiley is bursting at the seams with warning signs that any black male, any black male wanting to deal with her needs to be aware of, because she presents a certain particular set of hazards. What I didn't get into last week was that on top of everything else there, in case you all didn't know, Annemarie is MAGA. What? Damn! Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. This is Annemarie at Turning Point. This is Annemarie at Turning Point USA. And we're not talking about a decade ago or something like that either. We're talking about after the 2024 election. This is Annemarie with her new friends. I didn't get a chance to get into that last week, but I just wanted to say that, by the way, if the red flags I talked about before weren't big enough for you, is this red flag right here big enough for you? Particularly as black men? Is that a big enough red flag? And I know what some of y'all are saying right now. I can hear you murmuring, oh, don't worry. You know I'm going to get to that. You know I am. I assure you I will. But the first thing I want to do is show you that, if nobody had mentioned this yet, there were some folks who may have been murmuring it before, but in case nobody mentioned it, this is the side of the political spectrum that Annemarie falls on. Now, there are some things that she does that may confuse individuals if they're easily confused or they wish to be confused. But I'm just warning you that happens at your peril if you do something like that. That happens at your peril. Let me go ahead and show you. This is from June 16th, 2025. So barely a year ago, she was at Turning Point USA. As you can see, she was making all kinds of new friends. As you can see, this is Annemarie with all of her newfound fan base down here. Oh, very interesting. She wanted to let you know at the Young Women's Leadership Summit, she's in her 40s for the young women. All right. Thank you, Turning Point USA, for having me. And have her they did. As you can see, she's sitting there to be interviewed. The lights, camera, action. Oh, let's go back in front of another Young Women's Leadership Summit. Speaker check-in, Turning Point USA. You can see the branding is everywhere for this. This was just last year, folks. This is after Donald Trump has been reelected. By the way, she was at the White House. We're going to come to all that. Don't worry, we're going to get there. But I'm just showing you that for all the folks who are jumping on the bandwagon and jumping to conclusions, before you jump out the window defending them, just a little bit of background information to let you know what type of personality you're dealing with. Not what you suppose or guess, but not with the invoices. Oh, there she is. She's looking across the crowd. She wants to show you, oh, here she is. If you'd like to come and talk to them, human events. So we're talking about hardcore MAGA, right-wing, conservative, the whole 9 yards. I mean, Charlie Kirk click. And this is Annemarie. More pictures of you with the cameras there and whatnot. Oh, take a look at this. This mirror she's standing in front of. This mirror says, "You look stunning. Now get out there and save America. TPUSA." What?
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
Yes, sir. I mean, she's all the way down with it. These are her peeps. She didn't stumble and fall in that room by accident. By the way, she wants to let you know that she is a card-carrying member of Turning Point. Literally a card-carrying member. Do you see how long this carousel of pictures is here? She's letting you know, this isn't a mistake. These are my people. Now, if you are in a relationship with somebody who identifies with Charlie Kirk, who never saw a black person get murdered that he didn't defend the killing of, on just general principle, if you find yourself in a relationship or a bed with somebody like that, you are walking on dangerous ground, because they're letting you know what they really think and how they really feel. And eventually, they're going to sink their fangs into you. At some point, they're going to let you know that they think that they're white, and they're going to sink their fangs into you. And inevitably, predictably, that's what happened. All hands up who didn't see that coming. So Annemarie was on deck, and she wanted to let you know Turning Point is my peeps. And just in case you thought that was a fluke, oh, here's another carousel right here, July 13th. 1 year to the date of this program. This is just last year, exactly 1 year ago. Why, she's at the White House and IQ, high IQ. What? IQ higher than my heels. Policy poise and not to be played with. Oh, okay. Is that the Dutch side of her lineage talking there? Is that the Dutch side talking? Okay. Oh, she just loves the American flags, don't she? Boy, if you didn't know better, you swear it was Sage Steele sitting up there, wouldn't you? She just loved them American flags. Just, is there a flag? Here we go. See me. So she's all over the Capitol or whatever. And with this guy, I'm sure some of y'all might recognize him. If you don't, you can do your homework about it, but some of y'all might recognize him. So I think she's there by the White House. She's out here posing with the guards. All right, fellas. So, okay. I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out. You're holding the gate open. You don't want to let terrorists in, do you? Oh, take a look at this. Tetherpalooza. What? Damn! All right. So you can see this picture right here really speaks for itself. It speaks for itself. Hello to the newcomers. So, yeah, there you go. Tethermania. Oh, look, she found another flag. Can't help herself. Oh, look at me walking down the spiral staircase here. I feel like the First Lady. with her very tasteful Chanel dress on there. It was a Chanel sheath dress. All right, well, this looks like somebody out of Central Casting. She's found somebody if this is not a young Republican who will be fighting against reparations and for police to gun down black people, if I ever saw it. Yeah, this is a future Fox News alumni if I ever saw one. All right, they're sitting around somewhere here. Okay, that's cute. She's lots of pictures. Okay, close up on that guy again. Because this isn't the first time that you see pictures of her with him, by the way. This isn't the first time of the first event that you see pictures of her with him. She likes to wear her hair blonde, and she went to find somebody, a guy who likes to, oh, okay. Birds of a feather. And you think that fooling with this chick is going to be safe? You think that you are anywhere other than dancing in the valley of the shadow of death? Sitting next to this? Okay. If it means that much to you, roll the dice. Take your chances. If it means that much to you, but it's going to come up snake eyes and has no choice but to be. We can already hear her hissing with her fangs. All right. Office of the Vice President. Okay. She's got aspirations. All right. Tampering with government property. There she is there. Okay. Ladies of the Revolution. Really? Don't worry. Trump will go burn these pictures down before it's over. So she's looking around some more. So for whatever they haven't demolished already. So she wanted to let y'all know, yeah, that's what it really is. In case you didn't understand, that's what it really is. It's really about that. You didn't think that was going to be problematic? Oh, speaking of Sage Steele. Damn! Marcellus, you didn't know you was in trouble? No, folks, don't worry. I know. Marcellus said that he acknowledged that I had some criticisms. I'm glad to hear that. Marcellus, now that we've confirmed he tunes in, it's like, yeah, hey, Marcellus, yeah, bro, you didn't end up there by accident either. Now, Marcellus, what did our grandmamas tell us about playing with snakes? Marcellus, what did our grandmamas tell us about playing with snakes? You didn't think this was going to come back to bite you? Y'all think because if you're in another tax bracket for 2 or 3 minutes that you have graduated out of blackness? Okay. The old folk tell you, stick around, you're going to learn, but this is going to be a hell of a way to learn. And by the way, there's a dude between you and your wife, so it's all right, man. All right. Yeah, then you all weren't aware of this. Everybody talking about her. They didn't show you these things, did they? All your other YouTubers pretending that they know anything about this case. By the way, why didn't they show you any of this? This is the only place that's showing it to you. There she is with the International Association of Odd Fellows, with this guy again, Marcellus. Some dorky females go around talking about this. He's gay. They see some fellow who look moist and you ain't got to worry about him. And I'm like, okay, how many stud females out here got kids? You see all these stud females out here with children, and then somebody's going to try to convince you that your woman is safe. Okay. Bro, I told y'all, she sure is taking a lot of pictures with this dude, ain't she? There's more pictures of her with him than there is with Marcellus. I ain't putting it on Front Street. This is all from her Instagram. And by the way, Annemarie, I downloaded all of this already. So if you do remove it, by the way, I downloaded it all. What? Damn! So just in case, just leave it where it is. It'll make life easier for you. But just in case you think that's a problem, if you were wondering, no, I'm showing them this right here, but actually I've already downloaded all the pictures. So just in case people decide they want to scrub their social media, just so the record keeps straight. You know, for the Internet Archive, you know, for the Wayback Machine. All right, so she won't take individual pictures with these dudes. Really? I mean, just really? All right, leave it to Beaver. All right, Marcellus, y'all found the 3 or 4 black folk in the room, and there we go. Okay, y'all think y'all are young Republicans or middle-aged Republicans? It doesn't turn out right. It doesn't turn out right. Bruh! Marcellus, I can see why you hacked the phone now, but yeah, your woman is, all booed up. This fella's wearing what, America and Israel pins here. So I think he's one of these guys that Israel is paying the $7,000 to or something. He's one of these folk who's getting paid by Israel to, you know, carry the water for them and defend their genocide and whatever else they do. So he's one of those folk. In case y'all were wondering, I think he's on TikTok or something. But he's one of those folk who gets paid by them. So he gets paid by MAGA. He gets paid by the Zionist lobby. Yeah, everything except black folk. He's not doing anything. You can see, boy, he knows he was born the wrong color, maybe wrong gender. What? So, yeah, he feels like he was born the wrong everything. All right, we're looking out the window there. Looking out the window. They're taking pictures and stuff. Oh, boy. Every time she gets around Zaddy, Marcellus, every time around Zaddy, she get to cheesing. Now, I want to read her caption over here, by the way, y'all. My visit to the White House was pure magic. Keep those words in mind. That Trump's White House, Donald Trump's White House, was pure magic. Surrounded by strong, passionate, and open-minded individuals who inspired me beyond words. The warmth and welcome I felt was overwhelming in the best way. Stand boldly in your truth and firmly by your morals, even when you are faced with hostility for doing so. I'm glad you're here to lecture us about morals, Annemarie. We'll come back to that. The world needs more bravery and people willing to speak the truth. I promise you there is nothing more empowering than critical thinking and being true to your beliefs. And remember, the loudest boos always come from the cheapest seats. Okay. Was he taking the pictures? I don't know if he was. Oh, man, this didn't age well. All right, boy, she's happy to have the napkins. She's happy to have the napkins as souvenirs of her visit to the Trump White House. Y'all can see how many pictures she took with the flags. Welcome to the White House. They have their own digital kiosk. There she is posing under Honest Abe. National Black History Month.
Nigga, what?
You mean from the guy who took a wrecking ball to black history at the Smithsonian, wiping away black history? You mean that, ma'am? You went there for that? Okay. It's not like we didn't know all this in 2016 or 17, people, so it's not like it was a surprise. There she was. Remember this picture, by the way, not for the handbag. Remember this picture for her hands. Yeah, Annemarie, I want to point that out, though. I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't. We'll come back to that. I assure you. Warning signs. Warning signs. So she took a lot of pictures of those and whatnot, so she was thrilled to go to the White House. Oh, look at this. From a biracial Nigerian Dutch adopted girl. Biracial. She keeps bringing up that she's biracial. Keep that energy, Annemarie. Keep that energy. Hold that. You biracial. You got to hold that. We're not going to let you play this black when convenient. You biracial. You got to hold that. During Black History Month, she's here to tell y'all she biracial. There's a reason why we've had to hold the hard line now, because this will keep happening. All these Trojan horses and double agents. An adopted girl raised by a single mother in a small rural town in Canada to a woman who fearlessly speaks the truth, builds the life she envisions, and refuses to let anyone else define her story. So she's going to go around to trying to define other people's. Don't worry, we're going to come back to this, y'all, in just a few moments. I'm just letting you know what was happening there. Oh, look at her. Now she wants to make sure she mocks us. I want to read this for you all. Honored to be invited to the White House to celebrate Black History Month. I look forward to personally thanking the president. Personally thanking the president, you mean Donald John Trump, for taking a stand to protect women's sports. Folks, I'm yelling this because I want you to remember, she wants to thank President Trump during Black History Month for protecting women's sports. I wonder if this is going to come back to bite her on the ass. I wonder if it will. If this triggers you, let me tell you a story. So then she tries to channel her inner white MAGA. If you're triggered, okay. When you start hearing folk talk like that, that's a warning. I didn't leave the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party left me.
Oh, please.
A black woman in America. Wait a minute. You're a black woman in America? Because, wait, biracial. I mean, on February 10th, you're a black woman. On February 21st, you're biracial. I mean, just one post after another. On this post, hey, I'm black. Because we're talking about Black History Month. So, first, you're black. But the very next post, now you're biracial. So, when you're talking about Black History Month, I's black. When you want to get a ticket to the White House, I's biracial. Marcellus, you thought that you could dance with the devil in the pale moonlight and this was not going to turn out bad for you? You didn't think that eventually one day she was going to channel her Dutch side and call them people? You didn't think that was going to happen at some point? You thought y'all was sitting there and we're going to be a bunch of black conservatives and we've risen above that, and you didn't hear her saying this to you that whole time? You thought that she was trying to hang out with Charlie Kirk because she likes black folk? You got confused when she keeps sitting here sending mixed messages? When you're getting given a mixed message, that's not a mixed message, dude. That's a warning. That's a warning about where y'all are going. She ain't going to back off of that. Did they tell you all any of this? Is what I want to know. I want to know that part. Did they tell you all any of this? No? Oh, they didn't mention any of this. Nobody dug through the crates and actually dug through here to find out, by the way, what is she really about? Do they even know? Did they even look? Do they even have a clue? Okay. I want to remind you all of something here. She wants you all to know that she is biracial. Remember, we keep bringing this up. I'm Nigerian and Dutch. Biracial. She's using the word biracial. She keeps hitting you over the head to remind you, by the way, I am biracial. Biracial. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it confused. As is. biracial. She's made it a point to keep reminding you that that's who she is and what end of things she falls on. Because you see, if you're going to be running around with Charlie Kirk and friends, you're going to have to start talking like them. Now, I need to be careful here. I probably won't be able to show you this because I'll just show you her starting to talk here. And I'm going to take it off the screen because she channels her inner Megyn Kelly here now. She channels her inner Megyn Kelly here and starts towing the water for Fox News' way of doing things. Let's find some black folk to blame for something here.
Full video of Irina Zaruska, the Ukrainian woman who was stabbed to death on the metro in North Carolina. And I mean, the whole incident is just, heinous enough in and of itself. But another thing that is so upsetting to me is the fact that no one helped her. Like, this woman was stabbed in the neck, and then she slumped to the ground, and then she bled out on the floor of a metro, and no one went to help her. And I just feel like we're in a time where everyone is preaching, compassion and what about humanity? But yet when something horrible happens to someone, we'll pull out our phone quicker than we'll actually go to help them and see if they need assistance. Last week, I was at an appointment on the second floor of a building, and I look outside and I see a woman get hit by a Range Rover, and she is literally lying in the streets underneath a vehicle. And I rush downstairs to go help her, and there's like 50 people standing there on the sidewalk with their phones out, and everyone's recording everything, but no one went to help this woman. And it really just makes me feel like, as a society, we're virtue signaling all the time. Again,
when Daniel Penny murdered Jordan Neely, that was exactly what happened. A bunch of folks standing around, folk from her lineage, a bunch of folks standing around. Couldn't help but notice that, but I don't think she's made a post for that. I don't think she made a post for that, folks. I don't think she did. So she picked up the Megyn Kelly Fox News talking points there. She made sure to do that. She made sure to do that. So if you were wondering or guessing what it might have been, she made sure to go ahead and do that. They're not playing no games with it here. They're not playing no games. They're serious about this. This is how seriously they take that. However, I want to make sure here, remember, she just told you that she is the incredible edible biracial. She has already informed you that she is the incredible biracial here. Well, I wonder if she's going to try to be black when convenient. When people say things that are negative that directly affect her, if all of a sudden she's no longer biracial, she's black. See, that's that game that biracials play about black when convenient. I wonder if I can show you post after post after post where that's what she does. Let's see if I can.
There is no place in healthcare for racism. Full stop. Why is it always these black nurses? That's a comment I just saw on one of my recent posts from a Caucasian woman because she is angry at the content that I've been posting.
Okay. Well, why don't you call your biracial friends and you all get together on that? By the way, folks, I want to show you this caption over here. There is no place in healthcare for racism. Full stop. Do better. And she tagged this woman. I pray you are not a physician anesthesiologist, because if so, our patients deserve better than this. Okay. Okay. There's no place for racism. Found that to be very interesting. There's no place for racism. None. All right. There's no place for racism. By the way, one more thing. You'll notice this other part right here with the asterisks around it. I'm typically the last person to bring up race, but I'm half black and was raised in an Asian family. Sorry, I have zero tolerance for this foolishness. Is Annemarie talking about herself here? Annemarie, is that you that you're referring to? I'm half black and was raised in an Asian family. Is that you that you're referring to, Annemarie? I'm seeing it right here. Is that you? Marcellus, you didn't think this was gonna... I told you about these adopted kids and you stereotypes judge people. Okay, how's my judgment working out? Okay, you can say you dislike it if you want to. How is the efficacy and the accuracy of my judgment working out? Is it going down exactly the way I said it would, or is it doing something else? So, Annemarie is giving you the work. She's black when convenient. But the more white circles or non-black circles she gets around, the more distance she put between you and them. And next thing you know, that's a wrap, buddy. Next thing you know, it's that. Next thing you know, it's that. By the way, I made a lot of notes here. So that you all wouldn't have to. I did all this so that you would not have to do that. There's a few of these here, as a matter of fact. There's a few of them. Specific date that I'm looking for here. Specific date. Okay, that is very much in your ears. Should have been ready for that. By the way, she's got such classy music on here as well. That's I forgot to warn you about that. The music is very classy. Very classy. We wouldn't want to stay away from that now, would we? Okay, October 3rd is the one that we really want here. We really want October 3rd. No, we're still too early here. There's just so many of them to go through. I'm looking for October 3rd of 2025. And don't get scared now. Annemarie, don't get scared now. Just stick around. We need to go ahead and do this right quick, because if y'all are going to say these things, that's great. Oh, we done went too far forward there. No, it's one where she's in the hospital.
Good morning, guys.
It's one where she's actually at work, which is fine. By the way, this was maximum classy here when you talk about morals. We'll come back to the mom brain for the holidays. Maximum classy when you're talking about morals and whatnot, since we had an opportunity to take a look at that. That was just a really great way to go if we're going to be discussing morals. So
I had a dream I could buy my way to heaven.
Don't allow your identity to shape your morality. Okay, well, we'll try to avoid that then, won't we? Okay, that's cool. She mixed these in with other stuff. I wish she hadn't done that.
You guys, let's talk about something huge happening in healthcare right now that almost no one is talking about. But
oh, okay. Hey, folks, she says something huge is happening in healthcare that nobody's talking about. This is November of last year. We got to stick around for this. I wonder what it is.
will absolutely affect everyone. So the Department of Education just proposed a rule limiting how much nursing graduate students can borrow. All because nursing was quietly removed from the professional degree category. And it's not just nurses that this will affect. This will also affect future PAs, physical therapists, occupational therapists, and even speech language pathologists. Meanwhile, medicine, Dentistry, pharmacy, law, veterinary medicine, even chiropractic all stay classified as professional degrees on their list. Nursing is missing entirely. Nursing organizations are calling this what it is, a threat to the future workforce. This means fewer NPs and fewer CRNAs, fewer school and community nurses, and this is at a time where we're already in a national shortage. You guys, nurses are the backbone of the American healthcare system, and advanced nursing education is essential to keeping communities healthy and ensuring that everyone has access to care. The Department of Education needs to reverse course on this before it becomes permanent and creates absolutely catastrophic consequences for our healthcare system. And let's be real, you guys, everything always comes down to money. In my opinion, this has lobby groups written all over it. Groups that want to control advanced practice providers. Let me know your thoughts.
Let you know my thoughts. I got a thought for you.
You guys, let's talk about something huge happening in healthcare right now that almost no one is talking about, but will absolutely affect everyone. So the Department of Education just...
The Department of Education, and whose face is this down here? November 2025. Well, a year after, a year after Miss Biracial came to the White House. What? Damn! A year after that you didn't leave the Democratic Party left you? So now you upset because your man, Donald Trump, came to give you the work and came to give you the business.
You guys, let's talk about something huge happening in healthcare right now that almost...
Okay, so now you're upset because in the comment section they got on her too there. The guy that you supported, Miss Biracial, you got what you voted for, Project 2025. You know, Annemarie, what you fought for this. Why, you went there literally with heels on. Why, you were thrilled to get Donald Trump in the White House and show that you were a traditional values conservative. Baby, you were sitting there stomping for him. Wasn't she just telling you all that she was so glad to have a president who was going to defend women's sports? I look forward to personally thanking the president for taking a stand to protect women's sports. Okay, sports that you don't even play. Meanwhile, for what you do for a living, old Trump said, look here, let me come give you the boots. Let me give you the boots for this. I mean, you literally worked to get this in the White House and then got to turn right back around talking about, ooh, this was a bad idea. Marcellus, you thought this was going to turn out well? You thought this was going to go all right. You didn't think this was going to be an issue. Marcellus, you done had a huge heads up. You knew she had these tendencies. You knew she had these attitudes. You knew she was a little mixed chick watching Fox News. You didn't think this was going to be an issue. You thought you were going to ride off into the conservative right-wing sunset. You didn't think all these warning flags were enough. You didn't think this was going to be a problem. You thought this was going to turn out all right. Really? You really thought this was going to be okay? See, y'all sit up here and get around these folks and think you got some kind of preferential treatment or preferential slot because you're making a little bit more than the fellow who works down there at Circle K. And It's like, okay, bro, you got trouble sitting right there, just ignoring it. Just ignoring it. I mean, with that many damn red flags, that ain't nothing to play with. That is not a damn thing to be playing with. You don't play with nothing like that, bruh. She is serious about that. She means what the hell she say. Let me go ahead and give you one more again right here, folks. By the way, I did not bring receipts. I brought invoices. I did not bring receipts. I brought invoices. I didn't just tell you what you paid. I tell you what you owe. She's going around talking big smack about these things. She's going around talking big smack about it, and I guess hoping folks are not aware, whatever the case may be about it. That's okay. I mean, she came to the right place for it. You know I'm going to keep up with it. Let's go to October 3rd. Oh, look at this post, y'all. Miss Biracial, when the issue affects her directly, all of a sudden she no longer represents the biracials of the world. She now wants to represent the blacks. She's now come slumming so that she can represent the blacks on her social media. No, get your ass back over there and go represent the biracials. We got this covered over here for the blacks. We don't need any part-time black when convenient, black when you want attention, black when you want some shine, black when Trump locked the White House doors. What? Black when Turning Point USA is falling out of fashion. No. No, we don't play this game. I don't play this at all. We don't play this at all. Now she's worried about 3% of nurse anesthesists are black. All of a sudden. Okay. I've encountered 2 other black CRNAs here. All of a sudden now it's blackity black, blackity black, blackity black. Okay. It wasn't blackity black when you was repping biracial. When she repping biracial, it ain't about being black then. So I don't want to hear any of it. I don't want to hear any of it. I don't trust you. I don't trust you now. We've seen this too many damn times. You've already let it know. Your white side is going to be showing up at Turning Point USA defending the murder of Trayvon Martin and any other number of heinous anti-black things. So, nah, I would just rather go ahead and leave you over there at Turning Point USA, and we ain't got to worry about whether or not you're doing good today or not. We don't even have to worry about it anymore. We don't even have to think about it. We don't even have to think about it. Now, folks, this next part I got to get to here. Well, before I do that, I got so much to do here. Jason, did you really? Yeah, I did all that. Before I do that, there's a couple of other things I want to show you here as well. Because she wants to talk about certain stuff. She wants to talk about that. That's cool. That's great. That's wonderful. That's fine. October 1st. Where is October 1st? I want October 1st. Where is October 1st at? That's September. October 8th, October 1st, yeah. Yeah, there's Yeah, there were folks who were calling her out for that in here too, by the way. You have an opportunity to go take a look at that there if you all want to. You can have an opportunity to take a look at that if you want to there. I'm not going to drag my feet too far through this stuff here because I've got so much stuff to go here. I don't want that though. I really want October 2024.
So my husband and I started.
I want October 2024.
Thank you for checking on me after my call.
I want October 2024. Let's find October 1st of 2024.
I'm vanilla.
And I keep saying the date because I want you all to know exactly which ones you can go look for yourselves. I've already done the research for you, so you know exactly where you're going. The 6th, we're getting closer. The 5th. Here we go. October 1st. Friends, Election Day is less than 40 days away, and this is our moment to show up and be heard. So check your voter registration, make a plan, and vote. When we all vote, we create the future we want for ourselves and our children. And you go down to the comments section and they're saying, no. Wait, I thought you were based. Damn, not sad. So there were folks who had issues even then. They understood something wasn't right, and they were not too far off the mark. They knew something wasn't right. All right, I've danced around a bunch of things here. There was something that I noticed about Annemarie, and this is not to attack her. This is not to undermine her. This is not to attack her credentials. This is not to do any of that. However, I need to acknowledge that I noticed some things that, in addition to other stuff, that I think may be relevant here, because I noticed some things. It would be remiss on my part if I didn't say something. Folks, I got to tell you, practically damn near every time that she shows up somewhere, particularly when she, quote, goes on vacation, which she puts up vacation pictures all the time. Y'all, this woman stays. I mean, I've made a list of it because that's just how frequent it was. When she goes to a place that got a beach, man, she stay with a drink in her hands. What? I mean, folks, she stay with a drink. Everywhere she go. Remember I told you that when at that picture she was taking the selfie in the mirror? I mean, Annemarie, I just couldn't help but notice whenever you see her someplace, she stay with a drink. I mean, welded to that hand. Now, just to show you that I'm not lying, let me go ahead and open the crates. Just to show you that I'm not lying about this and I'm not just making this up or something. Whenever she start putting up pictures and posting and whatnot, it's about to go down. All right, what year are we in here? 2021? Not sure about that. I left it alone. She might have been in 2021. Oh, boy. Well, this is before things took off there. I guess during COVID, she was minding her manners. 2023 going for, 2022. Yeah, y'all, 2022. I mean, if she's out somewhere, she kind of stay with a drink going. Just, you gonna see her with something bubbling. So, let me not do that. I'll get her attention the wrong way. I'm not trying to do that. I'm looking for, in 2023, when it really starts taking off, May 2nd, August 28th. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Some of these are not loading up now. We got the whole wine cellar back here. I mean, she is not very far from a drink at all times. I mean, that's just kind of her thing. I'm not beating up on her about it. I'm just saying, by the way, am I in 2024 already? Okay, not yet. She stayed doing that. I just thought y'all should know, by the way, she stayed with a drink. She stayed with one. I'm not beating up on her. This is not a personal attack. This is not anything. I just couldn't help but notice Real Housewife of Beverly Hills. By the way, she stayed with a drink on deck. She stayed with a drink nearby. So she go near the water and she's the one drinking like a fish before it's over. So she go near the water and it's on. So she's staying hydrated, or that doesn't really hydrate you, doesn't it? Doesn't that kind of just dry you out? If I remember properly, I wouldn't know, I don't drink, but if I did, Where's my November 29th here? We're picking and choosing. Actually, I'm not, because I can actually just give you the whole list of dates for it if you want to go checking through that. It's available to you whenever you go see when she does stuff there. It's Marcellus. I thought that was an issue too. November 29th. I need the end of the month. I didn't go through all this other stuff over here because I don't really need to. Yeah, you're about to go back out on vacation there again. Good, which means we're about where we need to be. November 29th, they start talking.
3 to 5, and
Yeah, everybody else is there, and she's like, okay, I drank in hand. I mean, it's not for her. I'm just saying, I noticed it wasn't just on the table. It was drank in hand, just in hand. Every time we turn around, she ready to get lit. So, all right. December 4th. You see how quickly we went from here to here. Drank in hand. Drank, stay on standby. I mean, out in the sun, under the cabana. She like, oh, I'm keeping me something. I'm keeping me a little something. So, am I the only? Is there something wrong with me? Are folks gonna start telling me the problem is me? The problem is me, and I'm just making too much of it, or whatever the case may be. Where are we at here? February, going into 2024. February. Okay. January 2024. I mean, you just take a look at how quick it is. I couldn't help but notice every time we turn around, she's sipping something. It is the problem me? Am I making too much of things? Is that what? Go ahead and tell me the problem is me and I'm making too much of it. But I just couldn't help but notice every time she turned around, she's sipping something. Marcellus, you didn't think that was going to be a problem? Marcellus didn't think that was going to be an issue? I mean, okay, well, you take your chances, man. You take your chances. No, we need February 25. Oh, hey, Tom Brady. Boy, she cheesing right there, ain't she? Damn! She sure is cheesing right there. Okay. All right, folks, where are we at? February 14th. Dude, did she even tag you? Valentine's Day 2024. Who doesn't love daytime drinking and who doesn't love diamonds? Who doesn't love daytime drinking and who doesn't love diamonds? Okay, that's not me saying it. This is her. Every time you turn around, baby, we know you love the drink. We know you love it. Nobody else got nothing, but you do. And I'm just noticing something here. So just understand, I don't smoke, drink, or do any of those things. So whenever I see alcohol, that's kind of like seeing, for me, it's like seeing a cinder block in a refrigerator. It's like, that doesn't belong there. I mean, you can put it there, but that's just weird to see it. So when I see alcohol, that's the way alcohol affects me when I look at it. Y'all notice that Jason's not making this up. She stay. I mean, take a look at how many places she is. Ain't nobody else really holding like that. And she stay sipping. They walking around and she just, holding on. So, yep, what she say? Hello, bartender, I'm back for another one. Make it a double. They know her on a first name basis. Okay, she's still holding. The cameraman can't get a straight shot because the glass is in the way. Okay, am I just making things up now? Is that the problem? Is just me? The problem is just me? Where's February 25th? Where's the 25th? Okay, she was kind of photo bombing there. Where's the 25th, 23rd? Okay. That's the 26th. 28th. 27. 26. Okay, the thing moved on me. What are we doing? 25th. Under the seats. Yeah, okay. 25th under the seats. 26th on top of the table. Is it just me? So am I making all this up? Is it just me, or she like to keep sipping? She don't like it, she love it. So is it just me? I'm in the wrong? Is somebody going to tell me, Jason, you're doing too much? Boy, Jason, you're sticking on this for a while. Yeah, because I want to show you I'm not making this up. I just couldn't help but notice, if you're dealing with a whole bunch of other things here. Marcellus, were you aware of this? There was no way you couldn't be. So if you were aware of this, what are we going to do? If you were aware of this. Oh, hell, she heading back to the beach again, so... All right, I see drinks on the table. So you know what that means. You know what that means if you see drinks on the table. Okay, she found the pig to hang out with. Where is around April 17th? April 11th. And by the way, I know I'm skipping certain events in between, and I know I am. April 17th, there you go. Once again, I mean, she's staying with something. Take a look at how many posts have I shown y'all where it's her and the drink. Kendrick Lamar swimming pools. Pull up, drink. Sit down, drink. Stand up, drink. Roll out, drink. Is it me? Am I overblowing it? Okay. I know somebody's over there with their lawyers just writing everything down furiously, but I'm just like saying, by the way, did you all notice how much she liked to do that? For all my drinkers in here, is that normal? That's just normal. Just every time we catch up with you, it's go time. That's what it is. Oh, look. May 10th. Here we go again. Oh, Jason, she's out with some friends. Okay. May 13th in the hallway. May 13th in the hallway with Marcella sitting there and standing there and whatnot. It's like, okay. Bruh, every time we see her, drink in hand. She can't take a picture without the drink sitting there. Okay. All right. May 13th. I think I just did that one. May 13th. Okay. May 13th. June 3rd. I think she said that she drinks twice a week on that one. I want to say on that one, she says she drinks twice a week on June 3rd. Where is that for that? Yeah, here we go. Age 42, mother of 4, wife. Notice she put which one she put first. Mother of 4, wife, professional, 5'9", 142 pounds. Waits 4 times a week, spends 4 to 5 times a week, loves carbs and sweets, drinks alcohol at least twice a week. Marcellus, you thought this was going to turn out okay? Well, maybe you like to drink too. Okay, well, y'all know what it is. 2 drinkers ain't going to be able to get along. They're not going to be able to get along for any real length of time. Not really. So, y'all know her. When it gets warm outside, she like, damn water. Bring me something else around here. So, yeah, like I said, you thought I was going to be wrong. Nope, the drink ain't far behind. And we're only to June, so enjoying the fruits of my labor. Baby, you enjoy it all the damn time. I'm enjoying this. Let me hit this right quick. Okay. Did you get those dates? June 7th. June 13th, drink in hand. So, yeah, you ain't gonna catch her without it. You ain't gonna catch her without it. So, I can keep going. Different bikini, different place, same drink. June 26th. Okay. Jason's just making it up, right? I'm just making things up. You can just click on any random photo shoot. That one doesn't ever come up correctly for me for whatever reason. You can click on damn near any random photo shoot and she got it. She got it. That's the 14th. She was on vacation somewhere. Don't worry. The drink gonna be there. I don't think it's gonna be in this set of photos. I think it's gonna be in the next set of photos. Yeah, she's out there shopping. That means she's working up a thirst. Oh, she's out there shopping, which means she's working up a thirst. There it is back there behind the leg. There it is. Yeah, there it is. Just in case you thought she wasn't, just in case you thought she wasn't thirsty. She was like, oh, this shopping. I done worked up a thirst with all this shopping. Let me get something cool to drink. I done worked up a thirst with all this shopping. So, yeah. Why am I the only person who pointed this out? Where the hell is TMZ? If this has been here all this time, where the hell is TMZ? I don't think she's going to be able to bring that drink in the helicopter, so she probably just wanted to fly for about 4 minutes so I can get me up out of here so I can get me back on the ground so I can get me near something. Okay. I want to know where those hands were. Drink. Yeah, y'all thought I'm just making this up. You can click on practically any random picture. If she on the beach, the drink sitting right there. The drink sitting right there. Just any random group of pictures. This, baby, by the way, we couldn't help but notice. You stay glugging. You stay glugging it down. 2025, if you want to keep going, we can. It don't bother me none. I already know what the time is. So when we get into 2025, the beat rolls on. Now, she has some health scares and stuff like that. I'm glad to see that she has recovered. But, yeah. If it's going to be warm out there, the drink going to be around somewhere. It's going to be around somewhere. So, I'm going through this exhaustively, so if she wants to explain any of that, she certainly can. Mom brain during the holidays. I just want to stop here, give you all a brief interlude to see how classy things are, because she talked about classy and morality and this, that, and the other. And glad to see she stopped drinking at least. At least she stopped doing that. Because she's thinking about being a mom.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell.
Well, I thought we had gotten away from it. At least I thought we did. Okay. I'm exaggerating. Jason, you're overblowing it. You're exaggerating. I am? Okay. All right, I'm exaggerating it. I'm exaggerating it. I'm blowing it out of proportion. It ain't like that. It's not really like that. Okay. All right. The issue is me. The issue is me. And I'm just seizing on the things and whatnot. Well, certainly she was on the beach before, y'all. So certainly now that she's in the ice in January, well, at least now we won't have to worry about the liquor thing anymore. At least now that won't be a problem. So at least we got that taken care of. So no more wine bottles or liquor or whatever. She can finally calm down some at least. And damn! Okay, what'd she say? It's too cold up here not to have something to drink. So she's in the bubble bath and said it's too cold not to have something bubbly. It's too cold up. First it was too warm not to have something to drink. Now it's too cold not to have something to drink. So, all right, man. I'm not ready for y'all. I'm not ready for y'all. It's just, Y'all just gonna say anything. You're gonna say anything. You're gonna be upset. You're gonna get mad at me. You're gonna tell me it's my fault. You're gonna say that the real problem is I won't quit. If I would just leave it alone, it would be okay. Where's March 21st? There you go. Okay. All right, folks want to get pregnant. That's cool. That's great. Oh, here we go. Cell phone, drank. Stand up, drank. Sit down, drank. Cell phone, drank. And by the way, remember, this is right after. Was this the set of pictures? Okay. Where was it? Okay, she got away from it for a moment. Where was she in front of? No, we want the set where she was in front of that mirror. We want the set where she was in front of that mirror. Yeah, there you go. Cell phone, drank. Stand up, drank. Okay. Cell phone, drank. Stand up, drink. Did your other YouTubers point this information out to give you the whole backstory on it? And I'm not bombing on her. I'm not hating on her. I'm not doing anything like that. I'm just saying that, by the way, in addition to some of these other warning signs I saw, I've also got some questions about this that nobody was mentioning before. And I'm just asking you all, by the way, would any of you consider this to be a contributing factor? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. April 5th, by the way, I'd be remiss if I didn't cover this photo set right here. So April 5th, where is it? There you go. Fendi drank, cell phone drank, stand up drank, sit down drank. So, yeah. So you got that one. Okay. April 5th, April 19th. And that's April 7th. I don't think so. April 19th. She gonna have it in here too. So, all right. There the man is. What'd she say? He know to serving me right up. What'd she say? Serve me right up. Drop it off. Okay. That's what she says. She wants a man who's an expert in the field. So go ahead and drop it right off. Okay. I'm making too much of it is what you're going to say. I'm not going to drag you all through the rest of this. I'll just tell you throughout June, July, August, September 13th. Yeah, that one's thumbnail only, but in that thumbnail, she's got the drink sitting there. All right. So, yeah. However, there was one thing that I did notice. I did notice that there was one time that I couldn't find her with any drinks to show or anything. There was one time that I found that I couldn't find that. And that was when she went to Nigeria. Well, when she went there, I noticed I didn't see her drinking anymore. I did notice that. So, I mean, clearly she can do without it. But when she went there, I don't remember seeing her drinking anything. Did anybody enlighten you all to this? I'm going into exhaustive detail because I don't want anybody saying that I'm just making things up or I'm just cherry picking one or two things here. I'm just letting you all know that, by the way, I noticed something. And by the way, Annemarie is more than welcome to give me a call and, tell me I'm wrong or whatever the case may be. And that's perfectly fine by me. I will certainly give her enough time to make her case or state it however she wants to. But I just couldn't help but notice something. When she gets there in Nigeria, by the way, she's not doing all that. So, when you want to represent in America, all of a sudden it's that. But when she gets over there, it's not doing that. So, and I could keep going, folks. It actually keeps going all the way through 2025. I stopped by the time I got to 2025. I didn't even go to the rest of that. I didn't even do that. I will include one more thing here. And I will include one more thing. Not really sure what the idea was. I'm not really sure what the idea was. Boy, maybe she could take out some time to explain that to some folks, because I don't really know what the idea was. So I'm not going to jump to conclusions about it, but I will say that, by the way, there was one thing that did kind of strike me as a little odd. It did strike me as a little odd, and I don't really understand why it happened. They got it out of order, too. As a matter of fact, they had the dates out of order. I don't really understand how in the hell that could have happened, because they got the 27th in a place where it's not supposed to be. And I just need June 27th. And it's actually not in proper order. I don't know how in the world that happened, but June 27th was a interesting day because she had music to it. And I just found it to be a little odd that she had that music like that to it. And I still don't understand why. I think you all can see, I don't know what it is. This is June 25th, but this is June 18th. Not really sure why that would happen. You're doing your thing there. I don't want to click to the side because it may close the player altogether, and I don't want that to happen either. But I maybe somebody who works in the field can explain it to me. June 12th? Okay, it's just kind of odd there. She had one in here. Make sure I didn't get my dates messed up. Did I do that? Oh, okay. No, I didn't have my dates messed up. No, that's 2026. Not really sure why, but she had one playing for Michael Jackson. And I just found it to be interesting. They were talking about, she had one posted, and it was, anybody who wants to explain it to me can. I just didn't. Yeah, June 3rd. June 3rd. I'm not going to play the music, but she's playing Michael Jackson's Wanna Be Starting Something. And I'll let you read this caption up here for yourselves. I'll let you read this caption up here. Making friends one propofol nap at a time. And she's playing Michael Jackson. Clearly, there were folks in the comments section who found that to be interesting. It's the Michael Jackson song that's the irony for me. And she heard it and she thought that was funny. And I'm not saying anything, and it's not my goal to dunk on anybody. It's not my goal to cause an issue. But I saw that, and I said, okay. I think you all can tell I could jump on this with all 4 feet right now. I'm not going to do that. I'm just saying, all right. Okay. So at first I was thinking I was the only one who saw it, and I'm like, no, I wasn't the only one. Okay, well, all right. Let me go ahead and remind those of you who were not here Friday while we're catching up on this today. These are the parts we didn't get to discuss here Friday, by the way. Marcellus, next thing up here, brother, you got with a nurse. Anybody who wants to say there's a stereotype of this, that, and the other, do you feel like it's a stereotype now?
Deal with it, nigga.
Abba and Preach was talking about it was a stereotype right until the nurse came for them. And by the way, I don't hate nurses. I love nurses. I think nurses are great. I understand nurses. It's not a stereotype. It's not a generalization. It's statistics. It is math. I just accept it for what it is. And I'm cool with it when I accept it for what it is. It's great to have a cool little nurse. It's great to have one to kick it with, especially if they're very skilled. Marvelous. It really, really is. You need to keep that at a distance. I don't care who that upsets. I don't care who that offends. That's a fact. It's a reality. Now you have a nurse who is turning up at Damn Me Turning Point USA. What? And got you sitting right there with her as if you two are buddies or something here. And I'm like, man, come on now. Got y'all sitting there and whatnot. It's like, okay, was this your idea? Was this hers? Did you just go along for the ride? Or, fellas, if she biracial, adopted, a nurse, watching Fox News, talking to you about traditional values and this, that, and the other, those are not quirks. She's black when convenient. She talking the right thing when convenient, but she's not consistent. That's not a quirk, nigga. That's a warning sign. That's a red flag. That's a red flag. And you take a look at these other things. You take a look at these other things, and then you wonder that it was not a matter of if, it was simply a matter of when you were going to end up here. All this stuff she got going on, and it's just a matter of time before you're going to end up here. It's just a matter of time before all of that inner angst and all that inner conflict and all that inner animosity, it's just a matter of time before all of that directs its focus and its ire toward you. That's my point. It's just going to be a matter of time before eventually she starts directing this toward you. And when she does, she is going to give you the full Karen treatment. She's going to go behind your back. She's going to go talk to some white folk, and she's going to come give you the Charlie Kirk Turning Point USA Karen treatment. She's talking all that blackety black when convenient, but when she gets ready to come after you, she's going to become a Karen. You didn't take a look or notice or acknowledge the way she was moving before then. Those are the warning signs I'm talking about. I'm talking about that. Talking about that. Now she's ready to tax you. I don't wish her ill. I don't wish them any of that in this regard. And furthermore, by the way, one more thing, I'm not taking a side. I'm not taking a side. I've already acknowledged. By this way, Marcellus, you made these decisions with your eyes wide open. You saw what she was from the beginning. You saw all these things and you ignored them. You walked into Trump's White House. You walked into Turning Point USA. You walked into all that MAGA talk. You walked right into it, right through the front door. You didn't parachute in through a window. You didn't kick in the back door. You walked right in the front door with it. Nobody hoodwinked you and whatnot. You sat there cheering right along with it until things went sour. You're sitting there married to Annemarie MAGA. You thought that was going to end well for you? You thought all that TradCon stuff meant she's going to submit to you? You thought that's what that meant? You figured, okay, finally I found a chick who she looking for a man to submit to and values and morals. And now you're telling us she's the most immoral woman in the room. She's talking about faith and this, that, and the other. And as Emmanuel Acho tells us, he seems to be confirming what you said, that she sleeps with other men. And through your marriage, she been doing that, brother. And then you stayed. You knew what you had. You knew what you had. And I submit you knew what you had all along. That was the warning sign. That was the warning sign. You think that's cool. It's fine to have a female who has values. It's fine to have a female who has convictions. When her, quote, values and convictions run parallel to white supremacists. See, you can have these values without being a white supremacist. You can have these values and reject Megyn Kelly. You can have these values and reject the racists of Charlie Kirk. You can have these values and not do that. When she's got those values and she's sitting there smiling next to Charlie Kirk and Megyn Kelly, dude, it's only going to be a matter of time before she turns the knives on you. It is only going to be a matter of time before she eventually turns those knives on you. It's coming. No maybe or if, it's coming. Then what? Well, now we know what. And all that stuff she told you and commitment and all that stuff posted online and the love bombing, all that went straight out the window. Still got your stuff up there. She still has you on the Instagram while she told them people come and get you. That's the part I'm talking about. I didn't get to cover all this Friday and connect all the dots for it, but now that those of you who've seen the follow-up of this, does this now connect all the dots for you? Does this now connect all the dots for you about how Marcellus ended up here and that it was inevitable? It was inevitable that you were going to end up here. There was simply no way around it and no way out of it. Once you walk through that door, that's a wrap. You're done. Your woman is sitting there literally smiling with Sage Steele, who has absolutely nothing but venom for black people. You saw these biracials get together and you thought they were on your squad? You thought light-skinned chicks love us dark-skinned dudes. Well, you're right, they do. However, there's a lot of sick ones out there too. There's a lot of mentally, emotionally screwed up ones out there. So the fact that they love dark-skinned men and they want dark-skinned children, that doesn't change the fact that they are still carrying this internal conflict. That's the issue. A lot of fellas get confused. They get a light-skinned chick, and because all she does, she's telling you about how she's dated nothing but dark-skinned men and this, that, and the other, and she hates racism and stuff, and you come out confused. You start getting confused. Well, everything sounds right. That sounds like the right ideology. Okay, and then she goes and plops her ass in front of Fox News watching Sean Hannity and all the rest of them sitting up here. Then she's sitting up here, Turning Point USA doesn't bother her. Then you see all this, and then you see her family talking like Republicans. That's when you're supposed to be like, okay, no, we running game. She's running game. You ignore those things at your own peril. You ignore that at your own peril. And sitting there and whatnot, you were sitting in that White House, and this picture right here tells you everything. You on the outside. She put herself in between these other folk. You on the outside looking in. That's the part I'm telling you. Marcellus and any other black male out there dealing with a MAGA chick, Fox News watching, alleged tradcon, Candace Owens loving female. Fellas, I'm not saying that you have to go off here and go sign off for abortions or the transgender agenda, none of that mess, but you better accept a simple reality, not a hard one, a simple one. If your chick is rolling with MAGA, she hates black men.
And deal with it, nigga.
That might be a tough pill for you to swallow because you think you finally found a chick with some sense and she's not all hood and she's got some diction to her and she's gone to school and shows some discipline. That doesn't change the fact that, by the way, she hates black men. She doesn't really respect you. You're just something that she uses from time to time to balance herself out emotionally, and then she swings the other way, and then the non-black side of her psyche takes over, and her desire to be a member of non-black society takes over, and now all of a sudden she's coming at you like a Karen. Because that's where the heart is. At heart, that's what she really wants. And if she got to shank you, when the dominant society give her the word, she gonna shank you because that's where she wants acceptance. She's already got you bowing and scraping. She doesn't have to worry about being accepted by you. She was accepted by you before she walked in the door. She wants acceptance from these other folk now. She wants it from them. And you're in the way. But not for too damn much longer. And it shouldn't surprise you here that she got in her 40s and now she's trying to see if she can jump out the window and find yet one more sponsor before the clock runs out. She's checking to see if she can maybe possibly get a parachute to one more sponsor before the clock runs out. And next time, she's probably going to head for a white man. And if I had said all this to Marcellus 14 years ago, he would have told me to sit down and shut up. And then you got a bunch of other fellas out there who'll be saying the same garbage. So some folks learn and other folks become examples. Some folks learn and then other folks become examples. So if you all want to know what the real issue was with Annemarie, now y'all know what the real issues that I had were. When you put all of that together, y'all, what's the picture that you see forming now? Now that you put all this stuff together, biracial, immigrant, adopted, Turning Point USA, pour me a little something. When you put all that together now, what's the picture that you see forming? What conclusion are you going to draw from it now that you've got this extra information? Maybe you think it doesn't matter. Maybe you think it's immaterial. Then again, maybe you think it does mean something. I'll leave it up to you. However, you might disagree. Therefore, we're going to go ahead and open up the Zoom for you all now. Everyone is invited to call in. Annemarie, you're welcome to call in. Anybody else, you are welcome to call in here as well. The questions will not change. I've made myself available to be questioned about this. That's perfectly fine by me. And then ask yourselves why it is that all these other YouTubers, as far as they got was TMZ's article, they didn't investigate anything. This stuff was sitting right here the whole time. Whole bunch of fellas out there, I understand you don't want to be with the sexual deviants of the Democrat Party. I'm like, okay, the Republicans are not any better. And then you get some biracial chick who identifies with the non-white side of her family, and she's okay with the Fox News Nazis. She has this separated psyche. So you see, when she flips a switch, now she identifies as white. So what they're doing doesn't bother her now. That's a warning for you. That's a warning for you. There's a whole bunch of folk up here that happens with. By the way, you all remember Ashley Janae.
What? Damn!
Okay. What did I tell y'all was going to happen in her case? I told y'all what was going to happen in her case. She went on vacation with Zaddy. She went nuts about it. I told you all, folks didn't want to believe that she would off herself for that. Well, now they're saying that that's what they're ruling at. Did I call it or did I call it? I'm just warning the rest of you here not to get yourselves lost and confused. As a matter of fact, you better stay very, very well grounded. The folks you have around you can lead you in directions you never thought you'd be going in. And once you end up there, you're on your own. You got folks sitting next to you, and that's what I'm telling you all. She's been waiting years to slide the knife between his ribs. She's been waiting years to do this. Finally got him down there in Florida. She's decided it's time to jump ship. Let me slide this shank up in between them ribs right quick. And that's exactly the way it went. Ask yourselves how these other folk don't see that. Ask yourselves how they don't see that. Ask yourselves why it is they don't see that. And if they're honest with themselves, they'll tell the truth. The truth is that the only reason they want the money is because they think they can buy their way to access to this preconceived notion of what they think they're supposed to be within their heads. If they have a notion in their heads that they're supposed to be with a white woman, okay, get your money together so you can do that. Okay, she needs to be light-skinned. Well, get your money together so you can do that. Okay, she needs to be thick. Get your money together. You can do that. And then they start trying to use that as leverage, and that's how this turns out. It turns out like that. And meanwhile, she's literally got all the red flags sitting right there. Now you got kids. Now you got a house. And you thought that these tendencies were going to go away. Another thing here is, fellas, by the way, one thing that really gets discounted here, you got to watch out when you got a chick who drank a lot around you. What? Damn! Okay, if you are an inebriated fella, if you're a fella who likes to use substances, you like to smoke stuff, you like to drink stuff, do you realize how blind you are to what's going on literally around you? You sitting here smoking and drinking, whatever, and they're sitting there doing that. Have you noticed that they may have had an uptick in what they're doing? Did you notice that? Because I noticed it as soon as I saw it. How in the world are you going to be with somebody for over a decade and you didn't notice this? Because I noticed it as soon as I saw it. Or if you're going to say that she wasn't always doing that, did you notice if there was an uptick in the amount she was drinking? Did you notice that? Because what I'm saying is that if she's drinking more and more, bruh, this is eventually going to come to a head. She's going to get tired of self-medicating, and then she's going to demand to do something to you. Do you think she wasn't talking to some of them white folk about you? What? Fellas wake up way later and start asking these questions way later. I'm like, dude, did you think they wasn't talking to him about you? What do you think they were telling her to do? Do you think that they were telling her to stay and work it out? Or do you think they were telling her to throw you all these conservatives and traditional values, all that garbage? Do you think they were telling her to stay, or do you think they were telling her to, well, here's how you can go ahead and get him took care of? What do you think they were telling her? While you're sitting there pretending that, oh, don't worry, this won't be that bad. What do you think Sage Steele told her? What do you think they said? And furthermore, ask yourself why your friends didn't raise that as an issue. Now, Marcellus has said that it seemed like she lost her mind since the end of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But Marcellus, that can't be. That can't be it. Because she's talking about stuff was going on a decade ago. She's talking about stuff during the pandemic. So, If you're going to try to tell yourself that this only started happening in the last couple of years, that's not true. That ain't right. See, what happens is y'all pick up snakes and then you start tongue kissing rattlesnakes and you're like, oh, this is fun. This is exciting. It's still a snake. And by the way, I'm not trying to be disparaging of Annemarie. What I am saying is that if you get with a Candace Owens, you got to take that and everything that come with it. If you're a black male who tries to get with a Candace Owens, you see what her proclivities are. You're going to have to take that and everything that comes along with her. That's what you're going to have to do. You ready for that? Okay. Let's go ahead and jump on Zoom here. All right, we got Ambrosia here on Zoom. What's on your mind?
Hi, Jason. I wanted to point out, I find it very odd that in the docket, she stated that he raped her in 2012, and then 2 years later, she married him and had his children. And I find that very strange. This woman is a nurse, so I'm pretty sure at some point in time, she has come across rape victims in the hospital and has to perform a rape kit. I don't know one woman on this planet that would marry her rapist and then bear his children.
Yeah, it's just like I said about Diddy. These are lawyer terms. These are things that the lawyers tell them to say. Mm-hmm. So, because no female is going to spot you one free rape. What? Yeah. You know, it's just, okay, we had a relationship here. I'm going to let the first 3 rapes slide. The first 3 times you rape me, I'm going to let those slide. We'll just play past that. It's only when it's time to go to court that all of a sudden you're a killer, you're a rapist, you're a child molester. I'm like, okay, this is attorney talk. You know, like when you get in front of the DA. I mean, it's when you go to court, the DA is like, oh, this is the most, all you did was jaywalking. This is the most evilest criminal, law violating bastard we ever met, judges. I was jaywalking. It's total disregard for the law. It becomes that. So, no, they start piling it on. And the purpose of this, please understand, the purpose of this is to intimidate you. I was talking about this Friday. I think it's starting to dawn on Marcellus now. But the purpose of this is to show you in advance that this is how dirty they're going to go with it. And this is how far they're going to take it. And so you better just go ahead and settle for whatever they offer you. Because otherwise, we're going to just drag you through the mud and make this as evil as possible, is what we're going to do. So that's basically what you see shaping up. So Diddy, Shannon Sharp, whoever it is, Jay-Z, you've seen them run this play. This is just a scheme now. If you're a black male, Michael Irvin, you know, if you're a black man with some money, then when them lawyers get involved, they've got a damn agenda. They have a protocol. And the protocol is, okay, you're going to go ahead and pay this right here, or we are going to accuse you of everything north of Joseph Stalin. And we'll let you deal with that. So that's the game they're running on him now, even though he doesn't have nearly Shannon Sharp money, although I think that's a bit of a misnomer. I think it's a bit of a misnomer. I was saying this last week. And once again, I think this is dawning on Marcellus now. I think that his wife meant what she said. I've got other posts that she put up on Instagram. I mean, she really wants the soft life thing. She really wants to just do a bunch of traveling. She wants to be a nurse about 3 days out the year. And then somebody else pay the bills the rest of the time. Okay, that's going to take a lot of money to be doing that. And in Marcellus's case, like a lot of these other guys, they go online. They started YouTube channels. They start, you know, showing up on TV or whatever. So between Fox Sports and YouTube, Marcellus has got a little bit of a following. So that starts getting folks to start counting your money for you and start making calculations about how much you should have. Because now you've got an intellectual property. You see what I mean? So I said this last week. In California, everything he's got right now, basically she's got half of it. Because she was there when he started doing it. So everything that he has done post his career, she gets a piece of that now. Everything. And what he started doing online and everything that come from that, she gets half of that on GP under California law. So even with the intellectual property he started, YouTube or whatever, for your broadcasting thing, oh, that income, she gets that too. She gets that too on account of the fact that y'all started doing this. So the only thing that might save him is her age and her income, because she's in her mid 40s and the children are still relatively young. So it's not like she's going to get 20 years of alimony or something. It's not like that. However, she's kicking for the max. Whatever is the max she can get out of him, her lawyers are kicking for that now, which I suspect will be around. They've been married for 12 years, 12 years. So you can look for the lawyers to be pushing for 12 or 14 years of alimony is what you're going to be looking for. So that would get her to senior citizen, but anything else, that's the play that they're running right now. That's what they're doing. And they're going to try to make this as oppressive as possible to get him to just sign away whatever it is.
I also noticed in Marcellus's video that he went through the whole docket basically, but he never disputed anything that was being said against him. He spoke out on her using, the pronouns regarding herself and the money, but when it came to the serious allegations of rape and abuse, he didn't say anything. And I don't know of any innocent man who does not declare his innocence. And if he was going to speak on it, why wouldn't he say, this isn't true? This isn't true. Why would my children, she brought up the kids being a witness to it. He didn't talk on that. He didn't talk on anything that was strongly accusatory where he was concerned, but he made sure to speak up when it came to the money. And I just found that very telling.
Well, he's done a couple more live streams since then, so I don't know if he's said more since then or not. I can see that he's posted something else, so I don't know if he said more or not. I guess eventually at some point we may find out. What I will say, though, is that I'm not taking anybody's side here, contrary to what anybody might believe. However, I am making the observation about warning signs and red flags, because she had basically every red flag I've told you all about. And that doesn't mean I hate her. That doesn't mean that I hold her being biracial against her. I'm not doing any of that. What I am saying is, don't lie and tell me everything here is balanced, because it isn't. Don't tell me that you're equally balanced here, baby. I'm looking at you. You're not. You're not. So let us deal with you honestly here. It's not about hating you. It's about, okay, let's deal with what's really here, not what we fantasize about here. So I think he's kind of got himself in a situation, and I don't know if he's talked to his lawyers, if they told him to say this or say that or don't say anything. I'm not sure. Is he out here freestyling? I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it. But what I will say is that when you start speaking publicly, especially about something like this, yeah, you got to be careful, because anything and everything you say is now evidence. Anything and everything you say now, can be used. And if it can be used or twisted, or if the way that you're delivering it to people seems suspicious, all of a sudden she goes from being on the hook to being in the catbird seat. And now they got you on the back foot. So, yeah, you have to be very careful in a situation like this and very clear about that. If you're going to address this stuff, you need to address it directly. I'm just saying, if you're going to say something, you need to just be direct with it. Or don't say anything at all. Be direct, don't say anything at all. I don't know what she has or doesn't. I don't know if he's accustomed to this or not. Anybody who's had to deal with civil litigation knows. That's why I was giving you all the rules last week, so you all recognize it. When you see things in quotations, that usually, not always, but usually indicates there is some sort of documentation for it. When you hear on or about as opposed to on the date of, usually attorneys want to be correct about that. And if they give you on the date of, usually, not always, but usually, there's something to substantiate or corroborate it. So I don't know to what extent the things that she said can be substantiated or corroborated. I don't know. I just know that in a number of things I see her putting in that document, that there are a number of things that seem to imply that she believes she can substantiate it. And if she can, I think that's the part where they plan on hammering him for it. If she's got anything she can use to do that, because going into family court, she's got home court advantage. So she can be swinging from the chandeliers with 50 dudes. The problem with Marcellus, if Marcellus did, get access to her phone and can prove she was cheating, the problem is California's a no-fault divorce state, so none of that even matters. It matters to you personally, but it doesn't matter to the system. It's irrelevant. She could be sleeping with half of Bel Air. That doesn't matter. That doesn't factor. So even if you could show that she was the worst wife ever, that's not going to factor here. Now, if she can prove that you were abusing her, then that'll work. But the most you can claim is you were emotionally abused because she was sleeping with other folk. However, for folks who have been through divorces, especially in places like California, Marcellus has a problem there too. Because you see, it would be one thing if she was cheating on him or sleeping with other men and he went to go file the divorce. However, by his own admission, he's been aware for years and did not act on it. The judge is going to be like, well, it bothered you so much that you said, I got to keep the family together. So even how much was it emotionally abusing you when you said, yeah, let me stay where I'm at? Now, with her yelling rape, the judge is going to be like, well, her staying where she at don't count. They're going to say that. But as far as you, she cheating on you, it's like, okay, well, you were aware by your own admission for years and it didn't bother you enough to do something. Well, and getting raped didn't bother her. You're in contempt. It'll be that. So that's the issue that he's going to have. Even if he raised that, I'm just telling you right now, they're going to say, hey, you knew that for years and didn't act on it. That's what he's going to run into. I'm just telling you right now, he's going to run into that. If he raises that as an issue in that manner, that's what he's going to be running into right there.
He had to know that she had these white woman tendencies. Yelling rape is, white women accusing black men of rape is a pastime of theirs. And she did exactly what white women do when they want to pretty much get a black man hung, is yell rape.
Yeah, especially for the mixed chicks. Hello, Cassie.
What? Yes.
Hello, Cassie. Yeah, you get them biracial mixed chicks and whatnot. It's like, yeah, they quick to yell rape, ain't they?
Yes.
I mean, he was raping me for 5-6 years with 7-8 other people there. I got on a plane and flew across the country 7 times to go get raped some more. So, yeah, they're quick to say that because that's the white side of the family running the Emmett Till play. And so just see how quickly she flips over to that and starts treating you like a Karen.
Yes, to be a biracial child living in an Asian household, I'm pretty sure, I would strongly think that she has some serious identity issues. Serious identity. No one in her house where she grew up looks like her. No one. And she can't identify as Asian no matter what she do. So, she, even though she's biracial, she really doesn't look biracial. She just looks like a fair-skinned black woman. So she would have to tell you that she was biracial. So that just lets you know how strong the Nigerian, genes are. So I'm pretty sure there's some serious hardcore identity issues there. And he had to have seen that.
Yeah. I mean, look, when men have an idea in their head, and females have the same thing, but when a man has an idea in his head about what type of female he thinks he's supposed to be with, he gets tunnel vision. And as soon as he thinks he's found the most viable candidate, it's like, bam, you didn't know she was there, bam, you saw her. And it's just like, okay, it looks like everything's in place. What men start doing is start disregarding things. So if she looks the right way and talk the right way, then he starts making compromises. And the first things they start doing is saying, okay, here are the things I need. Does she have the things I need? Okay, well, I'm going to disregard all this other baggage that comes with it. That's just the price of doing business. As men, that's how we operate. We understand there's a cost to everything. The problem is that's not the way women operate. And what will happen is all the pluses you were getting, she's going to start drawing back on those. And no amount of concession from you is going to get her to start turning the volume back up on that. That's what happens. You get with her, you start compromising, and then next thing you know, she starts pulling back on the incentives you came to her for in the first place. Now you're stuck with a chick and all you get is to look at her and there's nothing functional that you desire anymore. And now you're stuck in a contract with her. And now she's got a system where she's like, hey, he's not holding up his end of the contract. And now here you are. So that's where he's at today. He's right there. But no, he saw these red flags. And like I say, it's not lost on me. Everybody keeps talking about that. Y'all, I mean, I've been saying it the whole time. He had MAGA tendencies and, you know, some right-wing tendencies and stuff. And you've been to Colombian things and you get lost in the sauce and lost in the fog and telling yourself what you are and aren't. And the real world's going to come tap you on the shoulder at some point. Mm-hmm. The real world is going to ask Tiger Woods. They didn't come after the... Ellen Nordegren is out there with a damn golf club. Baby, if it were me and I was whacking some chick's windshield in with a golf club, the police ain't going to be like, oh, why is you upset? They'd be like, put your hands behind your back before we shoot you. Ellen Nordegren is on video, on pictures, beating that damn windshield in with a golf club. If that had been Tiger, he might have got shot dead that night. So what I'm saying is you see this kind of stuff here. So you play those games at your own peril. When you see this, you can be tunnel vision if you want to. Can you get the rest of the world to play along with you? Eventually they're going to come tap you on the shoulder. They tap Tiger. They tap Michael Irvin. And they tapping Marcellus.
Yep.
They're coming tap you on the shoulder. Bill Cosby, come here.
Ray Rice.
Yeah. Okay, it's just they're gonna come tap you on the shoulder. Diddy, you know, we're gonna come tap you on the shoulder at some point, and all of a sudden, all those delusions you have about yourself, that goes out the window. As black men, we've been hearing about this literally for centuries. Literally for centuries. In her case, like what you're saying is that's the only thing right there. These are not tendencies that just popped up yesterday. They're not. These are tendencies that have been there the whole time. Somewhere along the line, he had enough compatibility with that where he was on the same thing she was on. And I'm just like, okay, but y'all are snakes, man. That's snake pit y'all doing. So, no, y'all ain't solid to begin with. One of you is going to end up shanking the other before this is over. Take a look at all them right-wingers. They got a damn right-wing civil war now.
Yes.
Fox and Trump and Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens and whatnot. Baby, it's World War VIII over there. They dragging the families into it, the kids, your ex-wife, your dog, your houseplants. Ain't nothing off the table. Nothing. Oh, look, you got an F in third grade? What? I mean, they going at it hammer and tong, and the beef is on for life.
Yes.
That's the group you're with.
Yes.
That's the group you sitting there with. So what do you think's going to happen when she finally thinks she got leverage over you? And if she doesn't, she'll just say something. That's the problem. That's the group you're with. I would have been too damn uncomfortable to be sitting in that White House. I'd have been too damn uncomfortable to be at a Turning Point USA event. I'm like, I'm in a damn Klan rally up in here.
Yes. Yes.
How the hell are you comfortable at a Turning Point event? This is a damn Nazi rally. Mm-hmm. There's not a single thing they sticking up for black folk for anything. Plenty of attacking. You have the damn Nazi rally, but that's the problem. Black folk be complaining too much. Okay, how about now? Oh yeah, one more thing. Marcellus, we know you're listening. Life lesson here. How many of your Turning Point USA friends are coming to your rescue now?
Damn!
Now, you said you like my video, you like my program. That's great. That's wonderful, because we the so-called pro-blacks over here. How many of your white friends are coming to your defense right now, Marcellus? How many of them are on record? How many of them are on record and on deck? See, this is the time where you find out who's real, when the chips are down and you ain't got nothing to give them. They ain't got nothing they can grift or steal. All they get is you. Well, now you find out who's real. And I'm just curious, by the way, the White House, Fox Sports, Turning Point USA, by the way, are any of them speaking up for you right now? Are any of them ready to get sideways with Annemarie over you right now? Are any of them speaking for your character right now? Or are they all saying, well, I really don't know? That's what Jason Whitlock is saying.
Nigga, what?
Jason Whitlock.
That's what Jason is saying. Jason was talking about how immoral you were. No, y'all can go. Jason was last week talking about when, I work with Marcellus, and, it's just very unfortunate that you can just say something and get him arrested. But by the same token, y'all know him sound like he's chewing on a pack of donuts, because he is. They're immoral people at Fox Sports. Everybody was like that, and Marcellus was too. Okay. I'm like, oh, Marcellus, he said, here, get your big ass right up into this bus. Oh, Jason Whitlock said, get your big ass right up under this bus, Marcellus. Greyhound for $0. Yeah, that's what's going on. Meanwhile, us over here, who can't afford to do nothing but be real, with all these athletes made millions of dollars, didn't do much for us, but all right. We still standing. Y'all went off to the suburbs and did whatever you did. We still standing. Okay. And when the damn heat come down, I just couldn't help but notice all the folk y'all were booed up with and I don't hear none of them or see none of them. The ones I do hear or see are all sitting up here sharpening their blades. None of them are speaking up in your defense. None of them are saying, I don't believe this. None of them are sitting up here saying, that's not the man I know. None of them are sitting here saying, that's very unlikely. None of them are saying, hey, the police report says the kid said that Anne-Marie's wrong about this, so we shouldn't be rushing to judgment. They're not doing that. Nobody at Turning Point USA is reaching out to you. I guarantee your phone ain't ringing with them. That's it, brother. You call them, it's going to voicemail. They don't want to be on text or nothing. It's going straight to that. You can try to sit up here and say, well, there's some folks that reached out to me. Okay, I ain't seen them. I don't see them. I don't hear them. Right now, they need to be on the record. When Donald Trump was being accused of things, Megyn Kelly and them were on the record. They was on Front Street. Okay, so don't tell me about what people don't do. When Donald Trump needed somebody to speak up, folk came up and spoke up for him. And here you are. It's like, okay, I'm just wondering, them Turning Point folk that we said this is who they were, have any of them jumped up to prove us wrong? Because we speaking up, but I don't see them speaking up for you at all. And if you do ask them, we know what the hell they're going to say. So, yeah. You can learn the easy way or learn the hard way. It's a hell of a way to make a bed. Hell of a way to make one. So, just take this as a lesson, y'all. When y'all see these folks sitting up here playing that game and whatnot, and then you're the lone black person there sitting there cheesing and smiling, thinking you're doing something slick. I guess, okay. That train's never late. He'll be here in a little bit. There you go. So I wonder how militant we sound now. I wonder how radical and extreme and militant we sound now. I'm just curious. I wonder if they're going to say we sound radical and militant now. I wonder if they're going to say that my statements about biracials, if I'm just extreme now. I wonder if they're going to say that, or if they're going to start acknowledging that that's an actual social phenomena. I wonder if that's going to be the case, or if they're just going to say if they're going to deny it. I wonder if that's going to be the case.
You know they're not going to give you your props.
A little too dangerous to do that, which is fine. And by the way, because I noticed they didn't mention my name. What?
No.
Everybody and their mama can find my channel, but nobody can mention my name. We're going to have to do a study about why it is I'm so damn dangerous. I just told you all, look, you all know after 2 decades doing this, everybody knows Jason Black. Everybody knows the deal. It's not like that. I'm not some pirate radio station, you know. They know who the hell it is. It's just, if you acknowledge me, then you got to acknowledge everything that comes with it. And then some of the stuff I say, you don't have to argue with me. You have to argue with the facts. Prove me wrong. You can say, ooh, that's kind of harsh about nurses. Show me where I'm wrong. Don't argue with me. Argue with my facts there. Show me where it's wrong, because all I see is a bunch of dudes complaining about the nurses they with. So why is it we don't get to just acknowledge that as a reality? And that doesn't mean I hate nurses. I think nurses are cool. I think nurses are great. I understand nurses. Like car mechanics. I think car mechanics can be cool. I don't know about great, but they can be. I understand them. Okay, why we can't just be real about this? Why? Because you have some idea in your head about what you want it to be. And I just told you that the reality is the candidates out here in the real world, not in your head, but the candidates in the real world don't really conform to that. Now we're going to say it was politically correct to, I don't want to offend the nurses. Okay, why can't we be honest with the nurses?
It's like when somebody who is a pathological liar, but they don't want to be called a liar, even though you can prove time and time again that they're constantly lying. They still don't want to acknowledge that they're liars. They want to be able to not be dealt with in honesty on where they should be. So that's why.
Okay.
Because if they acknowledge it, then you would have to deal with them on the level that they are, and that's not what they want.
I'm not dissing anybody by saying that. Chicks in the military, soldiers have been sexually promiscuous and reckless literally since the beginning of empires. Literally since the beginning of warfare, but particularly empires, when you got to go out and go conquer somebody else's. That's not abnormal. That's the rule for soldiers. That's why they have to have their own set of laws. It's like, because you know there's going to be issues with them. We don't get to honestly say that. We don't get to talk about that. Okay, so females in the military, you think they're going to be any different than the guys were? Or the guys are? So we called it out. That's not being disrespectful. It's just being honest. Say they're in the military. She might be able to shoot. That's great. That's wonderful. That's got nothing to do with this other part over here. If you get with a chick in the military, just understand there are certain quirks and certain personality traits that you're going to have to deal with also. If she been in the barracks, that's an environment where they got a certain set of rules. And especially if she was in for 5 years or more. All right, they've been punching that clock, dude. Otherwise, she couldn't be there. That's an environment where only certain people can stay for any real length of time. And the environment's not going to change for you. So don't tell me that they were in there doing their own thing. That doesn't work. That's like talking about you went to prison and did your own thing. If you tried to do your own thing, we know you didn't, because you'd be dead. Talking about doing your own thing. No, that place got rules. You're going to get with the program or you're going to get got. And that's it. So if you were still in the military, I know you got with the program. You couldn't have stayed if you didn't. All right, then let's just call it for what it is so I can deal with you honestly. Well, you're afraid it's going to change the way I think about you. I'm like, no, you trying to lie to me is going to change what I think. That's going to change how I treat you. But they don't want to have to deal with that. So everybody wants to go around lying and whatnot, and this is what you end up with. Fine to have a chick with values or, quote, morals, but they need to be hers. When those values and morals gravitate her to Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk, nigga, you got a problem. If her so-called values and morals have her reading books by right-wing MAGA conservatives and you sitting there cheesing because you figure, well, at least this keeps her from being too hood, you got a problem. And that problem is eventually going to metastasize, and it's going to get you. And this is where we at. And all of a sudden, I don't sound so extreme and outrageous anymore. All of a sudden. But up until now, just ignore him because this is too difficult to swallow. How about this part? I'll let you have the last word.
That's all I really wanted to say. If a woman that can, allegedly sleep with her pregnant friend's husband, Turning Point USA is where she needs to be.
Oh, yeah, CPAC, Turning Point USA. That's all. We're talking about that for years now. That's what they do. They fit right in. Brother, you didn't escape the damn problem and all them promiscuous hoes in the projects. Okay, have you seen what they do at Turning Point? It's an open air brothel over there. It's an open air orgy. All right, you thought it was going to be safe? No, they fit right in. They fit right in. Too many folk are afraid that if they listen to us, they're not going to get invited to these things. Mm-hmm. I want to get invited to the White House. Okay, I don't care about getting invited there. I don't care about it. I'm free. So these folk looking to go photobomb and take pictures, White House gala and this, that, and the other. I'm like, okay, great. How'd that turn out? By the way, you got your White House gala. How'd that turn out? Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. We appreciate that. Yeah, y'all, like I say, I mean, they scared to do that, which is okay. Look, I am so used to it by now. You all know that. Everybody who's been rolling with me now for decades, y'all know. They hate it. They see his right. It's like, damn, this fella, he's got his finger on the pulse. He gets the information. He does this. But do I really want to take everything that come with him? All these folks know me. The major news outlets, the sports folk, the athletes, the movie stars, the entertainers, the rappers. I'm not telling y'all what somebody else told me. I'm telling you all, they know exactly who I am. But they're like, damn, you be laying it down hard, man. They're not ready. They're not ready to accept the reality of this. They live in some other world. And for me, not compromising, they're not ready for that. They're not ready for that and what it will require. So then they just go back to listening to what they want to till the folk come and get them. And it just tends to end up like that. Let me go ahead and see if we can get Ike up here on Zoom for me here. Let me see if we can grab Ike up here on Zoom for us. Where you at, Ike? There you go. All right, Ike, what's on your mind?
Let me turn some lights on real quick. Man, I don't know if you discussed this already, but have we looked at the financials of this whole situation? Because if she's a CRNA, and I know from experience because I work directly in the operating room with the pharmacist. As a pharmacist, most CRNAs are up to their eyeballs in debt. They got student loan debt. They got mortgages, high rent if they're living in one of these metropolitan NBA, NFL cities. They got luxury car payments. They got lifestyle. They traveling to Bali and Belize and all these different tropical exotic places. And they're trying to maintain this lifestyle on about, if you're talking about Charleston, about $230K a year.
Well, she's in California in Beverly Hills.
So if she's in California and she's one of these traveling CRNAs, she's probably making upwards of, I want to say $800,000 per year as a nurse. But the lifestyle she's living, even on that salary, she's having a hard time keeping up.
Okay, well, here's the thing about it, brother. Because she claims to be an independent contractor. Okay, that's self-employed if you're going to be doing that. So she's going to be paying the highest tax bracket. You're paying the income tax. You're paying the alternative minimum income tax. So when you're self-employed, once you make a certain amount of money, you actually have to pay income taxes twice. First you pay it on the gross amount, and then you pay it on, once you deduct everything, you pay it on whatever's left if there's too much left over. So a lot of that's gone.
Can I respond?
Good.
If you're one of these traveling CRNAs, you don't just have to stay in your state. If you have most nursing licenses are multi-state, which means you can practice multiple states. Okay. So if you live in California, but you're flying to Houston, Texas.
Well, no, I think she's just staying in California now. I think she was a travel nurse, and now she's just an anesthetist. So she's just staying in California now.
Okay, but if she's had Marcellus Wiley, who can somehow help knock down some of this debt, then she's in a better position because now she can use her income to fund whatever venture she wants to do. But as long as she's under this debt, she's hampered. And if her husband finds out that she's moving kind of funny and he stops helping the payments, now instead of working 1 day a week, she's going to have to start working 4 or 5, even 6 days a week to maintain that lifestyle. Kennedy.
Yeah, that's the real problem that shows up, especially in the nursing field. A lot of folk get blinded because they're looking at gross numbers. Forget taxes. The real thing you talked about was debt. Now, a lot of nurses in the current environment, they can kind of avoid some of those debts. You know, if they stay with the same employer, they can get them to finance it or pay for their education. But the bottom line is now you're strapped to them for a certain number of years. Okay, she may be independent, but now they got a lifestyle. They have expectations. She wants to live in a specific city, in a specific area, and operate a specific way. She wants to drive a specific car. She wants to go on vacations. If y'all take a look at the stuff there, she had several different Chanel bags, several different Louis Vuitton, Fendi. She had all this super designer stuff. So that's the way she wants to live. The only city she was visiting were to go vacation in and travel to. So that's a lot of expenses to the shoot, because I saw some places she was going, Cabo San Lucas and in Houston. I'm not going to say where it was, but Cabo San Lucas and some areas in Houston and stuff like that. So and then Canada. She wants to play hard. She wants to play hard. And the only way you can really maintain that is if you're going to work 6-7 days a week, because you can brag all you want to about being a CRNA, an anesthetist, a nurse practitioner, but you ain't gonna make no money at that unless you grind. You're gonna have to grind relentlessly to make any money, because nobody's gonna pay you to sit at home when you get to that level.
But here's where social media comes into it. If you can be one of those healthcare providers who are showing those a day in the life of a nurse practitioner, mid-30s, living in XYZ city, not only are you not having to work as much, but now you're getting social media income in as well. And I don't know about any of these other healthcare workers, but I actually came into healthcare to help people and use my knowledge to help people. Some of these people that are in healthcare are just in it for the money, and they don't even care. And you can tell by all the malpractice that's going on. There's no way that all the Black people we have in our healthcare system, that the Black maternal death rate should be as high as it is, because people are asleep at the wheel, and I'm seeing it firsthand.
Well, look, here's the thing. The reason why I was showing you all this stuff before is because I talked about this last week. There's just, people have huge misconceptions. When I see somebody jump my comment section talking about what a nurse is supposed to make, or a CRNA, or a PRN, I'm not impressed by any of that garbage, because they don't know what's real. This woman filed for divorce, and what she told them was that, brother, even if she were making what you say, she'd have to, number one, work her ass off for it. But even if she were getting that, I'm telling you that by her own admission, she was unable to handle a $100,000 credit card bill. Now, if she was making $800,000, even if she was bringing home $4, she could not handle a $100,000 credit card bill. She couldn't handle that. I mean, we're talking about the cost of an Escalade. No, the money ain't that. The money ain't like that. The money's not like that if she can't handle $100,000 like that. The money ain't like that. You don't have to pay it all back in one lump sum. If she couldn't handle that credit card bill for $100,000, that it ruins her credit, that means she has no savings in the bank. That means that her monthly income is not enough to even keep her head above water. That's what that's telling you.
And 800K, like I said, the audience can check me on that. I'm trying to extrapolate it from Charleston figures, because I know exactly what people here, especially in the healthcare field, are making in the Charleston market. I'm willing for California. I'm gonna put that number closer to 5, and that's with her working her ass off. That number's gonna be closer to 5. I can see that, but another aspect, and I'm gonna land my plane. Out of 100%. I would say 70, upwards of 70% of CRNAs are single. But 80% of them are in some kind of situationship. if you know what I'm talking about. So there's CRNAs are chronically single or they're chronically divorced. They've been married to doctors, dentists, politicians, high executive finance people, and they're all single still, either mid 30s to mid 50s. I see them white, black, Hispanic, mainly white though. And
yeah, the issue is once they get those higher levels of credentials, she's getting that because all of them got expensive taste, or at least they acquire it, they aspire to it. However, they don't have a steady man to take care of that for them, so they wind up having to acquire it themselves. But it becomes a catch-22 because if they get with a guy, they want him to make and produce even more than she's getting because she actually wants to pull back on her level of production. So in reality, he's going to have to carry the weight he's already got plus everything that she expects. So everything she expected of herself plus what he's doing now, that's what she's actually going to be looking for from him. And the moment that she doesn't get that, or the moment she's told no, she's going to be like, well, that's okay. I have veto power because I have my career. So you're in this constant friction and conflict as a result of it. Her credentials don't make life easier. She ain't looking to collaborate with you. That's not what she's looking to do. She's looking to have what she wants.
Yeah, and you throw the reality TV into the mix, like that show that comes on Bravo, Married to Medicine, and all this mess. Then you start realizing that the black people in healthcare, like me, there's like two factions. There's the ones that really care and are really trying to do something, and then there's that faction who want to be social media reality TV stars and be flued out and do all this stuff. And we're looking like, damn, like if we just get ourselves together, we can make some real change in healthcare. Like, you don't have to go through government to get healthcare if we plan it right.
You know, if you have the agenda for it, but these folk on reality TV and stuff, I mean, they don't get paid for it. So Real Housewives or whatever show it is, you're just going there to be going there. So if she has a career, I think it's really a waste to be doing that because it's not, what are you getting for it other than famous, other than more well-known? And taking a look at her social media, it's not like she was killing the game at that for it. So, I mean, you might be more recognized, but you're just doing this for vocation. You're not actually doing it because it's adding anything to the bills other than just making you recognizable when you walk out in public and you can feel like a big shot. You know, but beyond that, it doesn't have any tangible benefit to it.
Yeah, you're right. But I'm gonna land my plan there. I know once we tackle this legal mess we got going on, and you shift your focus towards healthcare, man, I would love to be one of your experts per se, because I do have a doctorate in like healthcare and pharmacy.
Yeah, like I say, man, that's really something I want to focus on here because I think that's a really big area to get straight. The only issue is that medicine attracts a lot of screwballs, and there's one of the big issues that we have. There's a lot of folk in it, but there's a lot of screwballs. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Yeah, man, the Real Housewives or whatever, man, they ain't paying for that. You don't get paid for that. They don't give you no money for that. They got cameras there. The only folk get paid is the TV network. But you don't get paid for that. You get to say you were on the show, but that's all you're getting. They go back home and be like, okay, here's the bill. Here's the bill. And life is going to be okay as long as you can foot that. However, the older women get, the more expensive they get.
Nigga, what?
The older that women get, the more expensive they get. Young women are cheaper. Older women, they got all this stuff they seen. Now they just want somebody else to foot the bill. So it's not like they get older and get satisfied. They get older and get insatiable. They get older and start buying stuff they don't even need. They got 100 pairs of shoes and 60 handbags and all this mess. And every season that comes out, oh, new pair of shoes, new handbag, new drink. Let me go to some concerts, girls trip, boys trip. There's always something new. So life becomes a candy store to them. So they're looking for a guy to be the sugar daddy in the candy store. And that's what ends up happening. So it doesn't matter what her career is. She's going to be looking for you to do for her what she does for herself. That's what she has you for, is so that you need your money, but you just want hers. But that her money, no matter how much she makes, her money is never essential. The whole idea is that no matter how much money she makes, she wants a guy who, so her money is never essential. That to her is security. And so all she does now, if she wants something or whatever, we go digging in your pockets, not hers. We're going to go digging through yours. Okay, we're over here on Zoom with Elijah. What's on your mind, Elijah?
Hey, what's up, big brother Jason? $1 big brother, I want to preface what I'm going to say because you showed something very, very important about this woman and him. They're going to Turning Point USA meetings and everything like that. And then y'all uncovered the fact that this woman is not even of our lineage. She is a half Nigerian and half white, if I'm correct. So I'm trying to figure out about this nasty MTB right here. And for those who don't know, MTB is a musty tether bitch that she is. All right. You're going to these racist ass Nazi meetings and you're not even of our lineage. He married an anti-black racist. Why would we feel sorry for? We know he's a coon and he tells himself, you know, he's better. He's better than us. But in some cases, he's cool. I'm not beating up, but I can't feel bad. You married a damn racist and everything like that, and a hypocritical racist because we thought you're part of what happened to those conservative values. Then you turn right around and go into those wicked ass liberal courts, file for a divorce, and then try to take everything this man got. All right, you're going to the liberal courts, though, right? I'm trying to make sense of this, big brother.
Well, like I say, I mean, you see these things coming in the door. If your priorities are straight, you're going to be very critical. You're going to be very scrutinizing. I don't think that was the case. I think they have a preconceived image in their heads about the type of woman they want to be with and what it sounds like and what they're trying to avoid. And so long as this person checks those boxes, then they figure, well, all the other stuff, you know, that'll come out in the wash. And that's not what happens. That is not what happens. My folks always taught me, be careful about a calculating woman. Be careful about a calculating female. And that's what's happened here. She's a calculating female. She's calculating, she's thinking. And more than that, she thinks she's smarter than you. She thinks she's smarter than you. And eventually, when you have a female who thinks she's smarter than the man who's supposed to be leading her, it's only going to be a matter of time before she decides to overthrow you. It's only going to be a matter of time before she turns her sights on you and says, let's go ahead and overthrow you. And that's where Marcellus is now.
Big brother, I got this question because I don't think a lot of these women out here understand this. When you go against your own protector and provider, all right, I want to ask this question. Okay, you get him arrested, doing this and that. You got your own protector and provider. Do these stupid women out here really believe white supremacy gives a damn about them?
Yes.
Because okay, there you go. Because I was trying to make sense of this. You throw away your protector, and then when white supremacy steps to you, he'll thank you first by helping him put a black man in his system. Then he'll step to you, and he knows you're a sitting damn duck.
Well, most females don't think that way because they think they can rent a man. So I don't need a man. I want one. If my car breaks down, I'll rent a man to fix it. We've had a chick who's been having constant issues with that. If I have a plumbing issue, I'll rent a man to fix that. If I have a roofing issue, I'll rent a man to fix that. So you have females out here working and treating men as if they are optional or expendable under the idea that if she actually, quote, needs a man, then there'll be a fella out there who provides a service that she can rent. And thus, men are really superfluous at this point. And so if a man's not serving her desires, because she can rent a man for her needs. So if you're not serving her desires, well, then you're expendable. And so when you have a situation like this, you got a chick who's calculating, you got ideas about the kind of person you think you're supposed to be with. Well, she has the same thoughts in her head. And as long as you are providing what she was looking for, she would be okay, at least until she gets bored with it, tired with it, whatever. I don't know what Marcellus's finances are. I don't.
Right. Yes, sir.
All I will say is that of everything that I saw in that divorce, of everything I saw there, that thing about the $100,000, which is really $200,000,
yes, sir.
That right there is sticking out to me. I said that the whole time. In reality, that was the reason I went to go get the documents. So I went to LA Superior Court, their website, and bought the documents because I wanted more details about that. I had seen the number, but I wanted to know where that number came from. Still
Yes, sir.
don't have that necessarily just yet. It'll take time to get to those details, but I'm telling you that that's the crux of the matter. That is the crux of the issue right there. Because what's missing is when that happened. She doesn't say when this occurred.
Right.
It's my conjecture. We'll find out here soon enough, because Marcellus's live stream earlier today, for those of you who watched it, he reviewed my video, and he said several things that confirmed what I said, particularly about the passport.
Yes, sir.
I said, how is it she doesn't have a passport, but she's in Nigeria in May? And he mentioned that, so they confirmed that. But about the $100,000, I don't think that's a recent thing. I don't think that is. I think that that's something from at least a few years ago. I don't think
Yes,
that's
sir.
something that happened in 2026 or even 2025. That sounds more like a pandemic thing. That sounds more like that.
Yes,
so
sir.
with the time that she would be claiming that he didn't pay for the kids' private schooling, that would be the time you'd be looking for whatever led up to that. You would be looking for what led up to that. Because it says, in February of this year, he stopped paying our children's private school tuition. She took the money out of the children's savings account. Why did she go in the children's savings account? Well, because he got $100,000 from her and then $100,000 on her credit cards and then stopped paying those. And he told her that this was his fault. That's what she says. And then by ceasing to pay the children's tuition earlier this year and forcing me to pay it. So I'm predicting that this is probably at least a year or two old when this happened. But remember, was it Ernest Hemingway? Going broke or going bankrupt is a little bit at a time and then all at once, suddenly all at once.
Yes, sir.
So you go bankrupt a little bit at a time and then suddenly all at once. It's never just suddenly all at once. And whatever it was that was leading up to 2025, there were things that were happening in 2021, 2022. Leads up to 2025. I don't know. When did Marcellus get fired from Fox Sports?
I want to say maybe around the pandemic 2020 or 2021 and everything like that.
You all can go Google that. When did Marcellus get fired from Fox Sports?
Or did they cancel the show? They probably canceled his show.
I mean, well, they've already talked about that publicly, but they cut him off there. So go take a look at those dates of when that happened. And I wonder if it coincides here.
Right.
I wonder if it coincides here. And if it does, well, that would certainly explain a lot now, wouldn't it? If it coincides here. What I'm saying is that the woman starts looking for signs that the walls are closing in. She starts looking for signs that, is this a momentary aberration or is this the new normal? Is this something where you're going to be able to pull the nose up on the plane, or are you going into a nosedive? And once she becomes convinced, remember, hypergamy is armed by certainty. If she is certain that you're not going to recover, she goes for the exits. If she is uncertain that you peaked, she sticks around. So when she's not sure, she stays. When she's sure, that's when she leaves. Somebody in the chat room is saying 2022. So.
Okay, that lines up a little bit.
if things went south in 2022 with Fox Sports, you figure the money there wasn't fantastic necessarily. It wasn't NFL money.
Right.
So I'm just saying, you figure the car would have started running out of steam practically immediately. The car would have started running out of steam immediately. So, yeah, by 2024, you're going to be in trouble. I mean, by 2023, if not the middle of 2022, you're going to be in trouble. So if that's the case right there, that goes south. Definitely if things fell apart in 2022 with Fox Sports, definitely by 2023, for certain, you're feeling the financial crunch. So if you haven't started doing something online or doing your own thing, you're going to have to, if another network doesn't pick you up. The issue, though, is that can you replace that income at the level that it was paying? Are you going to be able to generate income on your own the way that Fox was paying you? Because that's what this woman's going to expect. If that's not happening, she's going to be uncertain because she sees all these other people on YouTube, all these other athletes making it work, Gilbert Arenas and, all the rest of them. So she might be saying, okay, let's see how this goes. So that might give you leeway to get $100,000 from her.
Big brother.
With her expectation that you're going to be able to pay that back quickly. But if it turns out that the YouTube money or whatever does not compensate for that, and it doesn't, now what? And that's where things start getting difficult. So all of a sudden, maybe the $100,000 you borrowed, we're not able to get that back to her. Then you find out there's a bank talking about $500,000. So I'm just wondering if it was everything everywhere all at once. And at that point, I said this last week, but I'm just letting y'all know, hey, fellas, if your wife went in your bank account and put you $200,000 in the hole, how would you feel at Disney World? You at Disney World, she over there cheesing, and she got you $200,000 in the hole, and according to her, ruined your credit. You say she got you $200,000 in the hole and ruined your credit. How would you feel? I don't know. Would you be calling them folk on her if she's sitting there cheesing or getting in your face and it's like, heifer, you got me $200,000 under and ruined my credit and you sitting here mouthing off at me?
Jason, I do have a question about that though, because you mentioned it. I wanted to call you up on your Patreon, and I forgot to mention this that Friday. Here's where the issue comes in. I have, all right. This should have not even been an issue. She gets with this man, and you've been teaching us this game for many years. I'm not trying to figure out where did he go wrong, not with the Fox Sports, but just period in life. If you're the man, aren't you supposed to be the financial leader? Aren't you supposed to be controlling all the finances? Because she's bitching. You know why she's really bitching? Because okay, fine. You could say, he took the $100,000 and ruined her credit. You know what I really think it is? She sees more expensive crap she wants to buy, and she can't buy it because she got to deal with this.
It doesn't even have to be expensive crap, though, brother. I mean, if you're living in 90210 zip code, if you go, you're already in a very expensive place to live. Crazy property taxes. Do you have a mortgage? They got together in 2000 and they got married in 2014.
Yes, sir.
When did they get the house? Because that's a 30-year obligation. How much is the house worth? You see what I mean? So yes, what is their mortgage? Did they get a mortgage with a good rate? Did they have a mortgage with an arm? We don't know. What cars are y'all driving? It looks like she's driving a Tesla. Looks like she might be driving a Tesla Model X. Okay, but your woman looks like she wants to be driving a Ferrari. So please understand, she might be dealing with some discontent. She obviously wants handbags. She wants the whole 9 yards, but she has the expectation that you're going to take care of all that. And if suddenly you're not able to do that, now you're going to have a revolt on your team. So they're just some folks who are in a very expensive state, in one of the most expensive parts of the city, in one of the most expensive states is where they are. Which means that you have no margin for error. If things start going left, you don't really have a lot of wiggle room for things to go way bad. They can go a little bad for a brief amount of time, but the wheels can't just start coming off. That can't happen. Your situation is too fragile to absorb that, and she's unwilling to become the breadwinner or to become the majority of it, because now she's no longer in her feminine. So now she's going to be like, okay, let me slide this shank in your back.
Yeah, but big brother, this is what I'm talking about. You mentioned this earlier, and I have a problem with it. Not with a problem with you, not at all, big brother. But I have a problem with it. Us men making compromises. Who the fuck is she or anyone to make a compromise with? You're the man. You're gonna dictate. I'm the leader here. I'm the protector. I'm gonna dictate where this ship goes.
Bruh, that sounds wonderful in theory between your ears, brother. that doesn't work in the real world. You are dealing with power dynamics. The rest of YouTube is off stuck and talking about red pills and dating. This channel is not about dating. It says so on my banner. This is the school of power dynamics. You have a woman who has grown up internationally. She's been around whites. She's been around Asians. She went to school. She didn't settle for a base degree. She has seen a lot before she ever met you. She's down there in Beverly Hills. She's seen a lot before you ever came along. So now she has her own ideas about what she's supposed to have. You ain't going to be really able to strong arm and gorilla pimp on that. Because remember, her Asian adopted parents are going to tell her, make sure you're in school so that you can take care of yourself.
Right.
Well, that it morphs from take care of yourself to this is the expectation of a man, got to match it. So the whole point is that you as a man will not have veto power. Everything you just named is a man who's got veto power. She's not some chick sitting at 7-Eleven trying to figure out what she's trying to do. She didn't end up being a CRNA by accident. So that was her plan. She's got ideas in her head about what the program gonna be. And you're talking about, well, she's supposed to just get with the program. You chose a woman who's already got a program. You chose one who already got one, and you are an accessory to her program. You deceived yourself into thinking she was getting with yours, when in reality, you are this accessory to her program. That's the problem.
Jason, when do we get, my question is this, big brother. When do we get to the point, just to build off of what you just now said, when do we as men get to a point where we push this on our women? You can't serve two masters. All right. I say that to say this. You're going to choose white supremacy out there, or you're going to choose my program in the house.
Right. But the thing is, though, that she's already made her choice. And the real issue is whether or not you accept that. So if you got a chick who ain't struggling like that, and she's got her own, she wants to be your competitor. She's talking about she wants a husband. That doesn't mean she wants a leader. Take a look at her life. Do you see a woman who wants a leader, or do you see a woman who has actually put herself in position to be your competitor? And there might be some things about her you really like. She's a go-getter and this, that, and the other. But is that still a woman who's looking to submit to you? That's not what's happening there. So what's happening here is if you can't impose rules and structure when you have a person who's like, I've got my own rules and my own structure. I'm just looking for a man who's gonna give me facilitate that. But she's not looking for your rules or structure. So these are things that are supposed to be settled at the beginning. You're supposed to have the right candidate at the beginning. And then whatever you got, that's what you got. But the idea you're going to get with them and then you're going to morph them and mold them and change them and massage it and this, that, and the other, that's the part that's not going to happen. I'm pretty sure she was the exact same way 14 years ago. If anything has happened, she's just more of what she already is. So all those things you're talking about, that's stuff that would have had to be solidified at the beginning. You would have had to vet for that at the beginning, and you would have had to move with that at the beginning. And that is not what happened. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Yeah, as men, it's like, okay, if the body is together and she's articulate and she's educated and, she's not some dummy dunce hood rat, a lot of fellas are like, I'm winning. And whatever other problems she got, because you have so many dunderhead females out here, and I get it, I understand. But the problem is you've also got some smart throwed off ones. Remember, I did a video years ago, the smart dumb hoes. They just smart dumb hoes. And a lot of fellas are just like, okay, as long as she's not a bushika, I'm winning, because the world is overrun with bushikas. And dude, you're walking out of the frying pan right into the microwave, is what it tends to be. So you got to be clear about that with yourself first. You got to be clear with yourself first that this is who she is. Don't tell yourself that's not what it is. Take a look at these factors. Why does she need to be a CRNA? What does she want that for? Does she have expensive habits and expensive tastes that she's just looking for you to come subsidize so that she can fulfill whatever this fantasy is in her head of being a power couple, and that so long as you serve the fantasy, she's cool with you, but as soon as the weight of the fantasy becomes too much, now she wants to turn on you? Did you find that out from the beginning? That's not something you get 10 miles down the road and say, we're going to negotiate later. That's all got to be settled. That's got to be settled. And a lot of fellas stood up here and stuff, and as long as she's not a complete dunce or a GED dropout, I'm winning. That's not where it's at. I'm going to be leader. You can't lead somebody who doesn't want to be led. And you can't lead somebody who is going to work to make sure that they have the resources to defy you. Is she going to work for the good of the family? Or is she going to work so that she can have the resources to defy you? And most males completely ignored that until it's too damn late. But a lot of you guys out here, no, she's not working because she wants money. She's working to have the resources to defy you. So as long as you please her, she's good. And the second that she's displeased, well, let me go ahead and flex my wallet. And it becomes that. All right, let me go ahead and jump back over here on Zoom again. We got Prince up here on Zoom for us. Prince, what's on your mind?
Brother, I can tell you why a lot of these people that's in high profile places or celebrities have a problem. It's one reason why they'll watch you, right? But they'll avoid you publicly. It's because you see their blind spots. And either they're ignoring their blind spots or they don't know that they're there. So, one thing, so when you're able to say things, they're going to listen because they want to know, and they'll regurgitate exactly what you said. But they didn't see it or wouldn't even acknowledge it because of their insecurities or their desire to have certain things. Some people can't live without having somebody in their life. See, if you got to have a mate all the time and you can't live without one, I'm saying just some people are like that. Psychologically, they're broken if they're by themselves. But that's what it is, brother. You see things, and people, when they talk to you, the people that really get along with you, some of your friends that have called in, celebrity friends, they're not bothered by it. And you're not bothered by it because if somebody sees something that you don't see, you say, okay, this is. You don't let that damage your ego. So,
well, I mean, a lot of them, believe it or not, a lot of them are bothered by it. But you're correct. I'm not bothered by it. I've lived those things. I've seen how bad it can get, and I'm just a person who is tired of seeing how bad it can get, and I don't want it to go back and repeat that. But Jim Starlin once said that some mistakes are too tempting not to repeat. And you have a lot of guys out there. We're entering a generation here. These females can see how lonely these guys are. And they can see that, you're just famished. And they're going to take advantage of it. They're going to take advantage of it. And that's going to be a lot of that going on. We're entering an era where you cannot afford to ignore red flags. You cannot afford to try to be Mr. Nice beta guy and just figure that, oh, well, don't worry. My principles will save me. No, there are warning flags you need to watch for. Just like with men, hey, if this fella, he's Mr. Swaggy but don't work, warning sign. He's Mr. Fun to be with, but he's really kind of childlike. Okay, that's fun, but that's not mature. Warning sign. He's emotionally attentive. Yeah, but he's not serious. Warning sign. A female can ignore that if she wants to. So she's ignoring the practical for the exciting. That's going to come to bite you. With men, it can go the same way. It goes the same way. When you start having simple lists and you start making simple mistakes, that can really, really mess you up.
I hope I'm not using this term wrong. Can a man or woman afford to have an archetype when it comes to seeking a mate?
You can have standards. I caution you against having an archetype because you will have a literal picture in your head, and that's what you're waiting for. And the problem is most of our information comes from sight. So as soon as you lay eyes on them, they're really locking in on this preconceived notion that you have. And if it does that, then you start dismissing things. Because the problem is that most people are very bad judges of character. They're very bad judges of evaluating people. They're very bad judges of doing that. So even if you give them a candidate, they usually are sizing it up wrong. Or at least they're not looking at accurate metrics.
Okay.
And that happens a lot.
Yes, it does. Jason, and this full disclosure, family, don't throw nothing at me. I've dated biracials. I think they're beautiful women. You understand? Listen, is dealing with a biracial just as risky as dealing with a white woman if they've been raised by that white side or have that mindset that's kind of confused? I don't know.
I'm not sure what the definition of, quote, risk would be. But what I am saying is that you're dealing with a person who's going to be dealing with a considerable amount of social and emotional conflict that pre-exists you, has been there their entire lives. That is what you're going to be dealing with. It's like having a foster child, and this chick was both. If you get a foster kid, you're supposed to be warned from the beginning. This kid been through, this is not an average kid. You didn't just go to the orphanage and pick somebody up. This kid is with us because something that should not have happened. And that's what you're really getting. When you get with a biracial, that's what you're getting. You're getting somebody who comes from a situation that pre-exists you, predates you, and you don't know how deep the wounds go. We know there are wounds, we just don't know how deep they go. And you can be telling yourself that you can fix them, or you can tell yourself the wounds ain't that deep, or you start telling yourself, well, it looks like they've recovered from it. It's been my experience that all of these are happy misconceptions and happy lies that people tell themselves.
Now, when it comes to these adopted children stuff, is it possible, because we've got some dysfunction in our community, but one thing that we don't have a culture of doing, letting kids go over to social services if we can avoid it. Other family members raise the children. Is it that we just can't conceptualize a mindset like hers of being abandoned? Because if one don't take it, the grandchildren or grandparents are taken, or the cousins or the family members that take the child. Can we really relate to that?
I don't know how you deal with somebody who may feel unwanted. So, which is usually the plight of biracial kids. They want to be white because that's where the privileges are, but that's not really an option. So you have the side that accepts you is the one that is socially oppressed, even if they do drive the culture. And the side that has the privileges does not claim you.
God.
So you end up with this longing for that. I think it's particularly bad for girls because girls can't really be like their dad, not like that. So you got this biracial kid looking at her white mama, something she can never be. You're never going to have her hair. You're never going to have the texture of it. That's not going to happen. And you certainly will not have her social privileges. You'll have female privileges, which you do get, but you're not going to really get what she gets. So that's where the conflict is going to be, is that you're never going to be accepted on the same level that these white folk you saw were. How are you going to accept that? will you ever accept it? Will you ever get to a point where you accept that this is just the way it's going to be and there's no way to change that? Or are you going to keep telling yourself that you are a faux white person?
She's like Sybil. What do you think she struggles with the most, in your opinion? Being biracial, adopted, black, or Nigerian?
The problem with biracials is they become politicians, or should I say they try to become chameleons. They don't really, most of them do not ground themselves in one place, so they try to have universality as a defense mechanism, and all that really does is make them untrustworthy. Because you live in a system of white supremacy, and you're coming around us who are victims of white supremacy, and yet you still have tendencies of identifying with the oppressor class.
That's the risk I'm talking about right there.
So you are dealing with the black oppressed class, because that's the only place you can really be, and yet you also long to be a member of the oppressor class. So you accept all their lies and all the fairy tales they tell. The Negroes, they down just because they ain't trying hard enough. Don't you see, you became a CRNA. And you're all for it right up until you don't get what you want. Then you stop being biracial and now you're black. So that's what occurs. So that's the dynamic that you're up against. So when you're dealing with a biracial person, your job is to go in and not be deceived. Do not tell yourself they got it figured out. They're all right. That's the biggest lie you can tell yourself. Hey, I met a biracial person and they're all right. No, they are not. They're in America. They're in they're in a global system of white supremacy. They are not all right. By definition, they can't be. And eventually they're going to show you where the not all right is. Meghan Markle, Halle Berry. We can just keep going down the list.
You wouldn't say that Halle Berry embraced her black side?
I mean, in between cooning and white men and this, that, and the other, sure, I guess, for about 2 hot seconds. Can I get an Oscar? I'm black. All right, as soon as I got it. All right, let me get back over here. What's his name? So it's just about being honest. Just like you would be honest if you have a foster child, you also need to be honest about biracials and the social dynamic that they deal with. You ignore it at your own peril, but that dynamic is going to manifest itself. Now, you can either be aware of it and deal with it honestly, or you can live in denial and it'll take you by surprise. But it's going to happen.
Yes.
Not maybe, it will happen. Now, that's why I tell you one of the key things that you look for is, do you have a person who, when you ask them what they are, do they say they're biracial ever?
Not sometime, not the first time, ever.
If they ever express that they are biracial, they put a hyphenation on it. I'm black, Hispanic, black, Asian. When they do that, that's your warning sign.
Real talk.
If they do not just simply identify as black all the time, you have been warned. If they tell you they are biracial, I'm black, and they start segmenting and things, you just got warned. You just got warned. If she ever slips up, they ever slip up. If they ever slip up and say that they are anything other than black, they're letting you know, yeah, I've got that conflict is there. That desire to be the other is there. And eventually, they're going to other you. They're letting you know right there what's really in their heart, and eventually it's going to manifest itself and bite you.
And see, young men, be careful, because biracial women, they can come across as extremely eager to get to know you and to be involved with you, because they trying to slide in some other stuff they trying to hide. So they just like any other woman. So, they learn
how to say things and do things to get you to drop your defenses.
Listen, my God.
They learn all the catchphrases. They know what you're looking for. So they start maneuvering and talking. They say just the right thing. They've been studying it because they know what went wrong. They start studying exactly what to say and exactly what to do to get you to drop your defenses. So you look at their, I advise you, one of the places where they won't is their music. Take a look at their phones and take a look what music they listen to, fellas. That one's not going to lie to you. Everything else can. So when you ask her what she wants to listen to, she'll name a bunch of black stuff. I didn't ask what you want to listen to. Let me see what you have available to listen to. Because there's just the stuff she'll play around you, but then you get with some Afro-Latina, and next thing you know, they're playing mariachi music. What? Or whatever, or reggaeton. Damn! And it's like, okay, dude, that was a serious thing right there. That's what it's really about. So these are the signs you want to look for. And what I'm saying is that's just telling you what you're really dealing with. Now, if you want to deal with a chick who identifies on both sides of the fence when it's convenient for her, well, then you take your chances. However, make your decisions with your eyes wide open and don't lie and say we didn't tell you how you can check for that. Because this will be an issue. At some point, it's going to come up. So you're looking for those things. They learn exactly what to say to get you to drop your defenses. She's triracial, not biracial, triracial. They're always trying to hook up with the darkest skinned black dude they can. Hello, Halle Berry and Wesley Snipes. You know, they know to look for those things. That gets you to drop your defenses. Dark-skinned black males, the triracials and octoroons know that phrase or those signs. I don't date nothing but black men, which kind of sounds like some white women you've heard of. But as always, dark-skinned black men, that's a methodology to get you to drop your defenses.
Other than sounding like a bigot, we need the light skin to get back with the dark skin so we get the pigment back in the community.
Okay, well, the thing is, you got to deal with what's between her ears, because the issue is not about her being light skinned. The issue is about her being white brained. That's the problem. So if you're dealing with a light skinned white supremacist or a light skinned person with white supremacist tendencies, eventually she's going to yank them out on you. At some point, it's going to happen. Now, are you honest enough with yourself to accept that that's what the reality is? Or are you telling yourself, it'll be all right? And that's where I think you're going to get into trouble, is when you tell yourself it'll be all right. And that's why I'm saying this here tonight, is that a lot of fellows are getting taken under because they're not suspecting of the fact that these females know exactly what to say. Take a look at, that's why I showed you all last week what Annemarie was doing. She keeps talking about black. She keeps talking against racism. She keeps doing that stuff right there. And it's like, to the unassuming male, it's like, well, she's saying all the right things. I mean, you can't get any more strident than that. She's just coming out of nowhere talking about 3% of anesthetists are black female, or black women is only 3%. So she's making it a point without anybody poking her, prodding her. And what I'm saying is that, yeah, this is a common thing that you'll see too. They will represent, but it vacillates back and forth. So they'll represent when it's to their advantage.
Okay.
Or they'll represent when they're having a conflicted day. Or you don't know what happened. They might have been at the hospital and the white folks reminded them that you just a light-skinned nigga. And then next thing you know, they're posting something online because you're not. This happens to black nurses all the time, particularly the mixed ones. Every once in a while, Becky let them know where she really stands. Whoever's the head nurse lets her know where she really ranks. And then next thing you know, she's posting something online like that. And you're thinking that that's just spontaneous and she was just thinking that. No, something happened today. So usually when they just walk in the door, something happened today to remind them that you're not one of them. And then she does that after she's done venting. Now that she's got that out of her system, okay, back to identifying with these folk over here that were just finished spitting on you.
Oh, it's how it affects them. It's how the racism affects them personally, not black people as a collective.
Correct.
Okay.
Black when convenient. As long as it's happening to the rest of you, that's your problem. However, when it affects them personally, now it's our problem. When it affects them personally. Just as soon as the heat is off of them, I'm biracial again. And that's the big issue we've always had, Prince, because you and me can't be black when convenient.
Never.
Now, we can coon if we want to, but we can't be black when convenient. We're going to be black 24 hours a day. We got to hold that. We don't get to tell ourselves any little lies. You got to be black all the time. They've told themselves they can be black when convenient. And now they're next to you, bringing that mentality with them. And what I'm saying is that, do you understand, black when convenient means that there's times that they identify as not black. What that means is that they brought a certain element of contempt with them, which is why she's sitting at Turning Point USA. During the times of the day or the week that she doesn't identify as black, she's harboring contempt.
So you can lay up with a woman that's black or melanated, and she got a white supremacist mindset. That blow my damn mind. You saying that they see themselves as superior to us, or they just wow.
You are dealing with a mentally and emotionally conflicted person. We're getting very Freudian here. Dealing with issues that were formed in their childhood. So what they identify as for you is a constant construct. For them, it is a coping mechanism. What is convenient for me? What will bring me the least discomfort? So if being black right now will give me the least discomfort, I'll take that. And if not identifying as black, even if it's just between my own ears, brings me less discomfort, well, then I'll take that. So that's why I said they're being politicians. Whatever it is that will give them the most advantage at that moment. But by the way, when they flip those switches, they adopt that mentality for the time that they're there. Okay, what happens when you get in bed with her tonight or tomorrow, or she wakes up in the morning? Because when they in bed, they all black in there.
Yes.
Now, let's be clear about that. What? So when they in bed with you, they all black women. Oh, when she gets out the bed at Disney World, now she's white. And what I'm saying is that along with that comes that contempt. That switch is flipped. So now she's identifying as non-black. When it's like Two-Face from Batman. When she flips over there, that brings contempt with it. So while she's with you, it's all about Al Jarreau and Michael Jackson and Chris Brown and NWA. And then when she flips the switch, it's all about Irish music or reggaeton or Buddha or whatever it is. Was that Kamala Harris and, Krishna and Brahmin or whatever they're identifying as at that time. That's what it becomes. So that's what you're dealing with. It doesn't stay stable. It doesn't stay static. It's going to change and depend upon whatever is most favorable at that time. Getting it to you is hard for you to grasp that because you don't have the option of switching. No. So there is no conflict for you because you're not capable of conflict. It's always been stable, but for them, it is. In their minds, there's a choice to be made, even though there actually is no choice. In their mind, there is one. So it doesn't matter what you think. It only matters what you know. It only matters what they believe. They believe they can have it both ways. And they've adopted those mentalities, including, most ominously, contempt for you. So there are things about you, about that black part of you they don't like and can't stand. When they adopt the other persona.
Does her lifestyle show contempt toward him? Is it the way she lived with him? Is it I don't know. Just number one, we know what is it really expensive to be hanging around those Turning Point USA crowds? Don't that cost a grip?
Yeah, I mean, really, these are the bought and paid for coons, to be totally honest. So, I mean, you can be, as long as you kiss enough ass, you can be there.
Okay, okay.
As long as you can kiss enough ass, you can be there. But they really like to have celebrity folk there. We learned this with Scientology.
Yes.
Let's be very, very clear. Things like Scientology, the Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, they ain't never had no love for black folk. No. Once we get beyond the Civil Rights Acts, that starts to slowly change. So it was very important to Scientology when they got Isaac Hayes. This is a man who had cachet among black folk.
Yes.
Will Smith and Jada, who are, pansexual and pan-religious. So when you see them hanging around. So it was important for them to get some black folk, and Isaac Hayes, they put him front and center. Just whenever they had their events, Tom Cruise, John Travolta, Isaac Hayes, they were very good about doing that, about the optics of it. So these folk have always valued having mascots, but in particular having celebrity mascots. Just having a no-name fella or a no-name person, that doesn't move the needle. Somebody who actually has some credibility among black folk, that's the diamond standard. Candace Owens is a dud because she's never had credibility among black folk. She's always been a pariah. So you could put money into her, but she's not moving the needle over here. And Isaac Hayes has heritage among us. Isaac Hayes has heritage among us, lineage. He's got history among us. He had history. So you see, that's not something you can fake. And that's not something we can easily dismiss or let go of. So if you can get an Isaac Hayes on your team, that's a big, thick wall for us to have to knock down, because now we got to knock down Isaac's credibility, which is going to be tough to do on account of the fact of his history with us. That's going to be hard to do. So that's the reason why getting individuals who already have credibility among us is the diamond standard. And when it comes to athletes, if you can get the biggest, blackest one, that can help. Particularly if they're not married to a white woman. That's always good as well, because they know that it's like, okay, we can see why y'all got him. But for the ones who are not, it goes along with that as well. So they've learned how to get the right candidates to co-opt them. There's a whole system for it. They know what they're vetting for. They know what they're looking for. And it's all intended to get you to drop your defenses. So it helps them and saves them. And when it comes to Turning Point USA, they need every black face they can get. The problem is they don't have anybody credible. And Marcellus didn't really get credibility either. He was a football player.
Right.
But he wasn't really a football player that black folks said, that's our dude. There's the issue right there. So he might have been known, but he didn't get his black credentials to a level where he would be able to get the stench of their white supremacists off of him. And here's the problem. Even if you did, you're not the face of Turning Point. Charlie Kirk is.
Exactly.
So there's nothing you can do to convince us that he's okay. So if you go over there with him, all that really happens is you jettison whatever credibility you have or could have had. So Turning Point is where black credibility goes to die, is what happens. It's a bottomless pit. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't plug it. You can't stop it. If you go over there, your credibility goes and dies with you, which is exactly what's occurred. I did a nice program to let you all know this chick been on that. She been on that. And she can talk about values all she wants to. Those values have not prevented her from sleeping with other women's husbands.
Damn! Pregnant women.
And so it's the same old same. So there's the issue. So when I show her sitting at a table with the Turning Point people, that's really all you need to know. Right then, right there. And then when I say, and by the way, my homeboy just married her. And all of y'all are just going to be like, oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. You already know where this is going to go. It's like, hey, she's part of the Turning Point. It's, oh boy. Oh, this is destined to end badly. Because Marcellus could never be white enough to make that part of her psyche satisfied.
Are the male biracials affected the same mostly, or is it because like we got Colin Kaepernick, he seemed like he's somewhat of a rider?
It's going to always be different for the males because you're automatically a threat. So you see, for light-skinned black males, don't get that deference. They can play that game in their heads. The problem is white males will give some female deference to black females. They will not do that for black males, light-skinned or otherwise. If you're not white, you're all one big nigga, as Ice-T said. So there's the issue right there. You're not going to get any deference. There's nothing you can do to get that. So since they're never treated that way, that's what happens. The other thing is that, the light-skinned dudes got to earn their bones. We make sure they got to do that. You can go off with the white guys, but if you don't end up dead, you're going to be an outcast, because the bottom line is the only thing you can do is be sleeping with their girls, and they're not going to be cool on that. They're never going to co-sign that. There's where the problem comes in. So for the females, it's going to be difficult. If the white men want to sleep with a black female, there ain't going to be a damn thing the white girls can do to stop them. Let me just explain it like that. If the white dudes want to sleep with a black chick, the white girls can be salty, but what they can't do is stop them.
Nope.
If he wants to do that, he gonna do that. With the black males, on the other hand, if the white girls want to sleep with a black male, white men have a way to punish that.
Yeah, they do.
All right, but also vice versa. If the black male wants to sleep with one of their women, they have mechanisms to punish that or disincentivize it. So you see there's a pressure there that is a valve that only goes in one direction, really. So that's what you end up with. But as a group, I just let people know, look, these are, as Dr. John Henry Clark taught us, this is a condition of history. That's all I'm saying. It's a condition of history. It's not about hating biracials. It's not about hating nurses. It's not about hating immigrants. It's not about hating conservatives. It's not about hating that. It's about recognizing exactly what it is so that we can be honest about exactly what we're trying to get, because these folk got an agenda. The biracial kid has an agenda trying to get, quote, accepted. The white supremacist conservatives have an agenda of converting us to their religion.
Yes.
And these other folk are trying to get goodies. And the whole thing here is that, okay, I don't really want to sign on for an agenda here, because none of that's going to be serving me. This is going to serve everybody else here. You're going to be getting what you want at my expense. There's the problem. So we need to be honest about what it is. I said the same thing. I mean, the fellas here, you don't see me go round and round with dudes and stuff. If they want to sleep with white women or whatever, it's like, okay, do whatever you do there. Make your decision with your eyes wide open. I'm not here to police you or anything like that. Just don't try to have a dishonest conversation with me. With the single moms or whatever, it's like, hey, I mean, Jason, you call the nurses hoes. I'm like, hey, we love hoes. What? I mean, we don't hate hoes, but we hate liars.
Yeah, they'll be honest.
I don't hate a hoe, but I do hate a liar. So when you tell me you a nurse and I give you that look, don't act like I'm not like that. It's like, okay, now you're just lying to me. Why don't you just let me deal with you realistically? Why don't you let me do that? Because, Prince, it's like you and me. I'm from Louisiana. I'm from Shreveport. You from Houston. Nigga, it's hustle city both sides.
Exactly.
It's hustle city both sides, nigga. We've been starving all these damn years. Don't tell me. Don't you know we'll run you over for $1?
Hell yeah.
That's not an insult. Fifth Ward and whatnot. You standing between a nigga from Fifth Ward and $1, you on dangerous ground. You on especially you in his pockets, you on deadly ground. That's not hating on Fifth Ward. That's reporting the news. That is reporting the news.
He killed them over $1. Do they know how hard it is to get a damn dollar in a place? We only had local stores. We didn't have railroad tracks everywhere, freeways surrounding the whole neighborhood. The hell is they talking about?
They talking about you niggas from Louisiana and Houston and whatnot. Y'all just all about money. You damn skippy.
And deal with it, nigga.
You damn right. You know how long we've been out here striving and struggling? You damn right we about that. So you're not hating when you say that. Like, damn, them niggas from Louisiana, all they buy is $1. Yeah, that's not hating. That's reporting the news. You're not. I don't consider that to be an insult. Not when you're telling the truth. Now, is there an element to that could be unflattering? Well, I suppose there is. But the bottom line is, hey, it is what it is. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and say, oh, you ain't like that right there. You know, I mean, money ain't everything. I don't know whoever the nigga said that. If money might not be everything, but poverty damn sure ain't neither. So, like I say, you're not insulting me with that. It is what it is. I'm just grown enough and bold enough to just tell you, hey, it is what it is. We rolling the knot. Okay, yes, you got that damn straight. Yes, absolutely. You about $1. I sure am. I absolutely am. Okay, you'll let a chick go over that. I sure will.
Hell yeah.
In a hot minute, believe me. There is nothing you doing for me that's going to take the place of that. You're not insulting me by saying, ooh, you all about $1. Okay, that's not an insult. That's reporting the news. The real question is whether or not I'm going to be, if he told you he from Shreveport or Houston, that nigga about $1. That nigga got a hustle mindset. That nigga got a street mindset. If he from Shreveport or Houston, it is what it is. Can we just be honest about it? I'm not going to ask you to lie about where I'm from and what I'm about. Okay, then don't ask me Don't have me ask you to lie about where you about. Let's just be on the level. Everybody, hey, it is what it is. We can deal with an honest hoe, and you can deal with an honest hustler. What you can't deal with is a dishonest one. I'll let you have the last word.
One thing, our brothers and sisters that come from Louisiana down here, they never have to explain themselves because we know what they're about. We all about trying to make that paper. Now, Jason, my last statement is, brother, the fact that she keeps bringing up he assaulted her over and over again. Do you think she playing that white woman card?
Yeah.
That's just like, hold on. If they don't get what they want, you see how they do, they try to do black men. Well, no, I didn't do it freely. You raped me. You drugged me. She's trying to do it. How the hell she do that and she got 3 black children?
This is all for the court of public opinion and for the judge, and this is demonization. And you say, how'd she do that? I mean, first of all, females do that all the time. Yes, but in this case right here, it's like, yeah, the other shoe done dropped. The other shoe done dropped, and now you are the enemy. You're going to have, Marcella's going to have to accept at this point right here, first of all, women, the date that you got your divorce papers, that was the date she served you. She knew she was going to do that years ago. She had already made up her mind when you got that $100,000 and didn't pay her back. She's like, oh, this nigga gone. He's done. And when I do him, I'm going to do him as dirty as I can on account of the fact that I'm a CRNA and I got to work for my money. And he done put me $200,000 in the hole. He ain't keeping up his end of it. He put me $200,000 in the hole. Oh, when I get ready to do him, I'm going to do him dirty. And that's exactly what she did. She like, okay, nigga, I can't whoop your big ass, but I bet you I can whoop your damn reputation. So she just said, hey, when I get ready to do you, I'm going to do you dirty. I'm going to do you dirty. I'm going to do you wrong. I'm going to do you messy. And that's exactly what she did. So at this point now, Marcellus is the enemy. He is the enemy. This is not we had a spat. This is not we had a blowout. This is not we had a incident. This is, nigga, you the enemy. You are now the enemy, and I've been waiting to come for you, and now I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, and I brought these lawyers with me. So no, the war is on. You're the enemy, and I'm liquidating the business. So when we're done, I'm going to try to grab as much as I can and leave you with nothing. And that's what it's going to be from here on in, because you're the enemy now. So that's really the disposition and the position and the state of things now. He's the enemy.
Can he recover?
Good question. I hope he does. I think right now he's doing the right thing by not going invisible. I'm not sure that he's doing the right thing by so much talking, because if he's going to talk about sports, go ahead and talk about sports. The more you talk about this, I think the only thing you can really do is say something you shouldn't say. So can he recover? Yes. I don't think there's anything there to convict him of anything. As a matter of fact, he said he was charged but not arrested, although it looked like you're arrested to me. But if it's a criminal situation, so I mean, but clearly he's been charged. And I don't think there's going to be anything successful there, because what happened in Florida was just insane. From what I'm seeing here, there was no physical evidence whatsoever. Nobody said anything happened to her. So it's just her word. Well, she looks like a good Christian chick. Get your ass in this paddy wagon. I saw her at Turning Point USA. So get in the paddy wagon. We're going to arrest you and figure out if we can make it stick later. Because we all know Florida doesn't do that. We all know Florida would never do that. So it looks like we're going to arrest him first and figure out if we can make the charges stick later. That's what it looks like to me. Can he recover from that? Sure he can. He can definitely recover from that. If he doesn't get convicted of anything, he can definitely recover from that, because right now what we're seeing is so flimsy. And what she has done is really to try to tilt the scales for divorce, because she did that because she was waiting to set off this bomb for divorce. And she wanted an incident to set it off with, and that's what she chose. So she chose to do this because I'm going to say one more thing. Was she drinking that night?
You crazy.
Bruh, was she drinking that night? Because you're making the assumption that she made these decisions all sober and calculated. What if she didn't? What if she got lit and she's running off at the mouth and she starts going and going and going and gone. What if that's what happened? They got back to the hotel. She gets something bubbly because she good for that. What if that's what happened? So maybe she wasn't as strategic with it and disciplined as she maybe should have been, and she went ahead and set the bomb off anyway, even though this wasn't the best situation or circumstances to set it off with. Oh, well, it's set off now.
The gate's open.
And you're not going to convince Marcellus now that you ain't out to get him.
Exactly.
Not now you can't, because you went all the way with it this time. So he can't take that mugshot back. So, and this is the first time this has ever happened to him in life. So this is new to him. He's not going to be able to tell himself that you wasn't really going for the jugular this time. You're not going to be able to say that. So now she's going to, even if she didn't really mean it like that, she's going to have to see it through now. She's going to have to take it all the way on account of the fact that you took it this far. Because when you call in the system, when you call in them white folk, they are there to take it as far as they can. It doesn't matter how far you don't want to go. They're going to grab it and say, we're going to see how far we can run with it. And they do that not over the course of days. They do that over the course of seconds. I mean, you are arrested in a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
Once they take you to the jail, that's it. It don't matter if she's like, oh, let him go. No, and we got to take him now. So that's it. You've called in something and now you've turned over control to other people. You're no longer in control of this. They are.
Jason,
and now he's got to deal with the consequences of that. So this isn't something you're going to be able to walk backwards. Not at this point, you can't.
All right. Jason, if she's not stumbling, how he know she have a drinking problem? How do you know some women can hide it if she's not stumbling around?
Bruh, if your chick is drinking during the day, she didn't say that on Instagram because that's the norm. If your chick is drinking during the day, the rule still applies, man. No, she's drinking at 12 noon. Bro, you know what the hell you got going on.
Yeah.
You know what's happening. Brother, you know me. I've never smoked, drank, and done nothing. I know what the hell I'm looking at. It'd be one thing if you had that show up once. Where'd you go, Mike? It'd be one thing if you had that show up once, brother. I'm telling y'all, hey, I see a pattern here. Like, it's one thing if she was just on the beach, but I'm like, do y'all realize I see this everywhere?
Yeah.
Brother, let me just tell y'all right now, and this is not a complete list. This was just what I was able to do this evening. A couple of dates, 2023. 2023, 4, 5, 6 dates. 2024, February, April, May, June, July. 2025, January, March, April, June, July, August, September. 2026, January, March, May, June. I didn't show you all everything. I just stopped because I'm like, by the way, we keep going. And then I found some stuff while I was looking there before that I hadn't documented the first time. So what I'm telling you all is that you can practically click on any random post she puts up, and it's not just a drink in the picture, it's a drink in hand is what I'm telling you. That's why I kept saying those words. She got drink in hand. This isn't just one sitting on the table. See, that could be anybody's. Oh, I just took a picture of that. That's just sitting there. No, brother, what I'm saying is that, do I use the word functional? What? Do I dare say the word functional?
Bro, we know several words.
Brother, she's holding a cell phone, taking a selfie, drank on the beach, selfie, drank, sit here, drink, towel, drink. I'm just saying, by the way, did you notice how many different situations this is in that is not just sitting at the cabana, it's casual, the White House, everywhere we are. And so I'm like, are you sure, brother, was she doing that at Disney World too? And by the way, one more thing, Prince, if you living with this woman, you know how she get when she drink.
Yes, you do.
So if she gets some kind of way when she drinks, your pockets might not be right enough to tell her, okay, you going to sit down, or I'm going to find me somebody with some sense. Now you're just trying to manage it. And then one day you can't manage it anymore. Something's going to happen. There's going to be an incident where the liquor does most of the talking and you can't manage it. Now, once again, this is conjecture here, although I am telling you all that if you want to question me, go ahead and do that. But are you going to argue that I did find a significant amount of smoke? Now, maybe I have not found a fire, but I want you all to understand, take a look at everything I showed you tonight under all these different circumstances and all these different areas and conditions. Are you sure there's not a lot of smoke here? Are you sure there isn't? Is this the normal amount of smoke? Or are we seeing an excessive amount here? And could that be a contributing factor for what we witnessed? It is my conjecture based on this that I think that there was a little bit more there than is the norm. And if that is the case, and once again, I want to say this again, I don't want to get her in trouble. I'm not trying to do that. That's not my goal. That's not my intention. I do want to discuss these things. She posted on her social media. I'll let her take care of explaining that.
Yes.
But to anybody looking, I couldn't help but notice just how many different circumstances and conditions that you got a drink in hand. And I just wonder if this is a contributing factor to certain behaviors, because I know how it is with other people. And maybe they don't do weed. Let's hope she doesn't have other habits. Right. But when I hear that you are on the Real Housewives and you work a lot and you're not happy with some of the financial circumstances and you love to travel. When I put all that together, I'm just wondering, hey, are there any other issues we haven't addressed? Oh, yeah, and you seem to be having a teeny bit of an identity crisis. At the age of 42 or 43, she wants to go to Nigeria.
Wow.
To find herself. Couldn't help but notice that. And I'm saying I couldn't help but notice all this is happening at the same time. But are you sure you're not using something to help you to deal with this?
Right. But it don't seem like it's affecting her job. Or is it?
So far, I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case at all. Although we're not there to monitor it. Let me just say I hope it's not affecting it. I say again here, I don't like the circumstances under which she did this. I don't like this at all. I think that she's doing this because she is angry and bitter about the fact that the finances are not going the way she might have thought they should have or met her expectations. Marcellus I don't think he's making the money like he was before. It's not free flowing as easily. It doesn't look like, in her opinion, I think she thinks that it doesn't look like he has answers to these issues as readily as he did before. And that, like a lot of people whose finances go south, and I was one of those people once, so I know exactly what that's like. You're not saying anything to people. You want to keep up this image to people, but you're not saying anything to them. So the ship is going down, but you live and work in Beverly Hills. So your part of your ability to be on TV and stuff is based on what people think you got.
Yes.
So if you let them know, while you set up a foundation to help pay for inner city kids or whatever the case may be, that sounds great and wonderful, although it don't look so great and wonderful when you then tell us that, by the way, my credit's sideways and this dude over here got me $200,000 in the hole, but trust me, everything's fine. Because according to your divorce attorneys, it isn't. That doesn't feel very good. And so what I'm telling you, Prince, you know how women are. She's been sitting on that. She's been sitting on it, and she's been getting angrier and angrier. And then one day it's like, all right, nigga, it's going down at Disney World. It's going down today. And all this I've been sitting on, you gonna get it today. And off we go, especially if she feels like there's no longer any benefit to keeping it up, or that she's reached a point where she can't do it anymore. Because, for example, if she finds herself working a lot more than she thought she would be,
stressful.
Because if you got a fella who's got that kind of picking up the kind of slack, she can start deciding if and when she wants to work. But what if she can no longer do that? Now, to make up the shortfall, she got to do the 6 and 7 days a week, and she got to do the 14 hours. And she can't just sit back and go travel like that. Travel. And is she blaming herself, or is she blaming him and saying, hey, this is your fault? And then one day it's like, okay, I'm going to give you the business at some point when I'm going to get to a point where I can finally give you the business. And I'm not at a point where I can do it yet. And then she gets to a point where it's like, screw it, it doesn't matter anymore. just might as well go ahead and do it now and grab whatever it is, because that's what I was saying. What was ominous to me, and Marcellus says he's going to explain all this. It'll be interesting to see. We'll see what he says about the bank and that $500,000 loan. Because I'm like, the question that nobody is asking is that the only one? What? Damn! I haven't heard anybody ask. By the way, that dropped because TMZ actually went looking. And they filed their papers back in December.
But that's
so
his debt,
has
right?
anybody asked if that's the only one? Now, if there are any other debts out there, home equity or something like that,
wow,
that starts to look real bad. And if she has knowledge of the finances, then she may be like, okay, screw it. This thing's going south. Let me go ahead and cash out here. Let me get this house because we can homestead it. Because you know how women are. She's like, okay, I'm not going to give up my house.
No.
I found that to be interesting. I don't know. I would love, Marcellus, and you listening, I would love for you to explain whose house that is, because she was talking about in 2012, that was our house. So I'm like, I'm curious about how the paperwork for that house is, because 2 years before you all were married, she's referring to that as our house. He was sleeping with them in our house.
But he was retired when they got
the
house.
he was already retired by then. So I'm like, okay, so the house that they're in now, is this the same home? I don't know. It's been 14 years. Is this a new house they're in? I don't know where the house they're in right now came from, or if it's the same one she was referring to. What I do know is she's going for it now. So she wants to keep the house. I'm pretty sure she wants to keep the cars. I don't hear anything about the bank accounts necessarily. I don't see anything about a request for alimony or anything. That's usually what goes in these things as well. You don't see that either. So I don't know what the finances are or what the finances look like, but it's very clear to me that she's obviously heckling for this to be her opportunity to cash it out and whatnot. And then just whatever he gets, he'll be on his own. So I think now she's going for the house, and that she figures if I'm going to have to work 6 or 7 days a week, I might as well have the house to myself. If I got to do that, if I'm going to have to do this myself anyway, why do I need you? Why do I need the dead weight? If I'm going to have to pay for the kids' private schooling, if I'm going to have to tote the note, why do I need you here? If I'm going to have to work my ass off and be struggling, then there's no reason for me to do it with you. And I think that's where she's at right now.
Okay.
Because if you ask me, and I just keep it straight with y'all, I call it straight down the middle. Marcellus is not explaining that $200,000, and y'all notice I keep coming back to that. That was the reason I went to go get the documents. I'm like, yeah, bruh, that 200 G's. Now, unless she's lying about it, and lawyers ain't gonna play that game. No. So if she's lying about this, her lawyers will drop her.
Yeah.
If they find out she's lying, they're gonna drop her. If it turns out that that's what happened, and there's a $500,000 loan, it's like, dude, come on, man. That's a hell of a lot that them piled up just really quickly, and with no explanation at this point about how we got here. And he's like, don't worry, everything's fine. I'm like, I've heard this before. How is everything fine and the debts are getting bigger? Shouldn't the debts be getting smaller if everything's fine? It doesn't sound like that. And so, depending on how long you've been treading water, that's what gets to be the issue right there. So if she's found that the amount of money you spend is going down, the amount of money she got to make to compensate is going up, and you got her 200 in the hole and her credit sideways, eventually she may just, under those circumstances, she'll decide to just bite the bullet and be like, okay, just give me the house and I'm calling it quits. And if you're going to pay nothing over there.
Huh.
If you're not going to be providing, then be not providing over there somewhere. And that's where she's going for. She's like, I got the system behind me, so let me just keep the kids here since I'm paying for the private schooling. Let me go ahead and do that. And, you just get on over there and let me see if there's a dude at Turning Point
yeah,
that I can go ahead and throw my hat in the ring for, before it's all like, she's out here throwing elbows with all the other white women out there at Turning Point, because that's what's going on there. Let's go see if we can find some oddball, to go ahead and take me and these 3 kids off the market.
He's making on his talent, and he may not really ever been, a lot of these guys may never been aggressive about being productive like a Shannon Sharp because they made it on their talent.
Brother, do you know how much it's going to cost to raise 3 children in Beverly Hills in private schools? How much is that a year? 3 kids, Beverly Hills, after school activities. He got arrested at a football game. What? Or basketball.
Oh, man.
So extracurricular activities, private school. Brother, how much does that cost? All my Kevin Samuel heads, y'all all remember he used to run down that list for you. I'm throwing y'all a bone. Tonight. So you can thank me later. But all the Kevin Samuel heads, y'all know he used to run down the list of that, even if it was kind of incorrect. But you run down the list of that: the house, the mortgage, the kids in private school, 3 of them, after school activities.
Yes.
You know, you're going on vacation, and you see how many times a year she got to get out. She wants to get out 3 and 4 times a year. She wants the Fendi and the Louis and the Prada from Fendi and Louis and Prada. What? So she wants to do all that. And you can tell her drinks ain't gonna be cheap.
She's not with LeBron James.
Her drinks ain't gonna be cheap. You can see that. Even her drinking habits have got to be lit. So, and talk about the clothes. She wants to wear the Chanel. So when you add all that together, just the kids alone, bruh, a nigga got to be knocking down at least a couple mil to keep his head above water under those circumstances. If I had 3 kids in Beverly Hills, I would need to have. If I had to make that estimate, I'd be like, oh, I got to get y'all. I can't come out here for less than a couple million. I got to get a couple million a year because this is just going to be a hell of an expensive place to live. This is going to be a hell of an expensive place to be. Everything going to cost. Can you imagine their grocery bills? Because she wants to eat all vegan and all organic when she ain't,
What? Wow.
Bro, I'm just saying. I mean, she ain't Gilbert Grape. So, I mean, she's obviously eating a certain way. She's a medical professional. Look, I mean, I give nurses a hard time. And I'll continue to do so. What? But what I will say is that once they reach a certain level of expertise, when you're dealing with, generally speaking, with your competent RNs, your competent CRNAs, your competent, the folks with specialties and stuff, they tend to take their health pretty seriously. I think it's because they see so many folk around them, and it really tells them, hey, you don't want to be like them. You better stay right. So they tend to take their health very seriously. And that's good. I also know a lot of folks are on drugs. I know there's a lot of healthcare professionals who are on drugs. They're on opioids. They're drinking habits. Some of them got weed habits, opioid habits. I get that too. But a lot of the women who take this stuff seriously, and by the way, I've always admired that. I think that's a great thing. They take this stuff seriously, and they take their body seriously. So, I mean, I saw what was in her refrigerator. She has a lot of meal prep. She's got a lot of Tupperware in there, so she does a lot of meal prep. She takes that seriously. That's good. That's wonderful. Do you think she's shopping at Walmart? No, straight to Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Publix, or whatever's more expensive. They got some more expensive options out there now. Oh, is that Evergreen or Fresh Greens or whatever it is? So obviously she's going to be going there. If for nothing more than it's the designer place and you're the woman from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So of course you can't be shopping any place that's not marquee. So when you consider what her food bill would be alone, just for herself. Now for the kids, you price that over. So do you see how this keeps snowballing? So no, I'm figuring you got to have a couple of $1 million a year if you're going to be raising a family under those circumstances. What I'm saying is, like I told Elijah, there's no margin for error here. There's no margin for error. You can't have an off year, an off month. You can't. There's too much to be balanced here. You can't. And I'm sure there are expenses that we don't even know about. I'm sure that there are some substantial expenses that we don't even know about. And they're just used to saying yes to everything. They're used to just saying yes. Now she has to say no. Brother, they'll go bankrupt behind their images.
Yes, they will.
They'll go bankrupt behind Mickey Rourke, the actor Mickey Rourke. And they were like, hey, you can't afford to live here. Do you realize how many stories we've had about this? Drea Michelle and them, they suing folk to stay in these houses because that's your calling card.
like you said about the cars, the Range Rovers. Do you think?
No, think about it right now. What she's thinking to herself is she's about to become like one of the Baywatch women.
Not one of them homeless.
Okay, what I'm saying is that before now, she could say I was one of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Now it's coming out in public that you can't really afford that. If she loses that house, what is that going to do to her image?
Is she competitive enough to get another sponsor? Because she sees she has
no. She's doing that now. She decided a couple of years ago she was going to do that. She decided that a couple of years ago, and she's scrambling for it now, which is why she keeps putting up all these bikini pictures. So she's scrambling for that now is what she's doing. She's trying to do it while there's still an option to do so, and she's putting up bikini pictures to show whoever will be the next candidate was she working with. You know, so in her case, I'm pretty sure she's going to be looking for a guy who's 60 or 70. This is the way this arc goes. So she'll be looking for some retiree who's 60 or 70 in the entertainment business or whatever. She'll be fighting and competing with the Pamela Andersons and the rest of them. Or some white supremacist somewhere who has an oil company or something to see if she can get her Anna Nicole Smith on or whatever. But you know this, brother. To all my folks in California, you know, baby, join the line. The competition's thick. Competition stiff, competition thick. You're late to the party. There's a whole bunch of chicks from the 80s and the 90s here ahead of you, you know, and the 2000s are piling up. So here you go. So, yeah, like I say.
Stacey Dash?
Yeah, I mean, Stacey is, you know, she could find somebody for the summer. I mean, that won't last. So that's really what you're up against, a whole bunch of chicks with expensive tastes and images to uphold, because that's the only thing they have to trade on, and now they're going to do anything to try to hold that together. So in her case, her career, I think, could, but she's going to have to do a lot of working, because a CRNA don't just go and move to Beverly Hills. That's not what happens. So I think this is going to be a stretch. I think it's going to be difficult. She's going to have to work her ass off, and that was not what she bargained for. She's 45 years old, brother. Think about this for a few moments. 45 years old. Assuming best case scenario, folks, I don't guess my way through these things. And I'm pretty sure if I go looking at real estate records, I might be able to find this stuff. I'm going to spare them now. I'm going to let them live. But I bet you if I go looking for real estate records, I bet you I can find it. If they've been paying on that, if they have a 30-year mortgage and they've been paying on that mortgage now for the last 14 years, I'm going to spot on that. That means you have another 14 years to go.
Right.
So she's going to be stuck with that for the next decade and a half at least. She's 45 years old. She'll be 60 by the time that's paid off. Brother, how many women are looking to step on the gas when they hit 45?
Not with 3 kids, not even 45 by themselves.
They're not. She can't afford to slow down right now. She's going to have to step on the gas at 45. She's going to have to do more than she's ever done. Was that the plan? And how motivated is she going to be to do that?
Will her psyche survive it?
I do not know. We don't know if it's already survived it. But what I am telling you is that these are the circumstances in which she's looking there, and you have to ask yourself some serious questions about the ability to maintain that. And from my standpoint, that becomes very challenging. I don't think this was the plan. I don't think this is what she was looking for. I don't think that's what she was bargaining for. I think that she's going to find that challenging, even under the best of circumstances. She's going to try to get another sponsor. That's going to be tough, but it's possible, sure. Challenging, but possible. What I do know is that this was not what she bargained for. I do know that. And I don't think she's going to be highly enthused about it. I don't think that's going to be the case either. And that's why I'm saying, yeah, Marcella's about to go through the ringer. Because I think she's come to the conclusion she wants to cut her losses. Yeah. And once a woman gets there where she sees you as a burden and I'm cutting my losses, you know, that's what you're talking about, recovering. That's the real thing right there. So I don't think he's a quitter in that regard, but right. I do think she's getting ready to cash out, and most likely, I mean, because it's going to be tough. Because remember that, something else I forgot. That $500,000, is that his $500,000 or our $500,000 debt? Damn! By the way, that $500,000, y'all, is that his $500,000 debt Or is that our $500,000 debt on account of the fact that y'all were married when you got that debt?
$700,000 split in half. The 200 million plus this 500 million.
Brother, if you went to Disney World and your wife had you $700,000 in a hole behind some bull jive.
Oh man, I ain't never put no hands on a woman, but boy, it'd be some stuff going on. What? So that makes sense if somebody messing with your money like that. Do you think she ever be the kind of downgrade her lifestyle at all?
No, she didn't come this far to do that, but the resentment will come from the fact she'll be forced to do it. I don't think she wants to be driving a Tesla. I think she wants to be driving a Ferrari. I think that things didn't go the way she was expecting it to. And now the burden's going to be on her. So I'm just telling you, I'm adding all this stuff up. And I'm like, ooh, if they sitting on damn near $1 million in debt, she wouldn't. And now she's going to have to pay all the bills. On top of that, oh, hell. How do you think she was feeling at Disney World? It's like, dude, she's got no appetite to argue with you about anything on account of the fact that she knows y'all can't really afford to even be there. We're going to Disney World on credit cards because we can't really afford to be here. And he can't pay for it. So she's like, yeah, if he does anything to piss me off, if he does not leave me the hell alone and doesn't do nothing to piss me off. And yeah, I mean, think about that for a few moments. To the fellas listening, if your woman racked $500,000 and then $200,000 and your credit side damn ways and she's sitting at Disney World smarting off at you, how you gonna respond?
Trigger.
So I'm giving y'all both sides of it. I gave it to you Friday. I'm just telling y'all today. It's like, if that's the way it went down, I can understand why she's angry. Yeah. I still do not think that condones what she did. I'm not giving her a pass on that because that's not condone that at all, period.
That may be the drink talking. You might have to get
okay, well, the problem is you got to deal with it. So this is a betrayal. This really, really is. It's very, very bad. Although I will say if he dug a hole that deep, if all this stuff is, his leadership doing that, I can see why she would be unhappy. Mm-hmm. I can see why that would be the case. All of some of her other foolery to the side and, turning point. I can see why she would be unhappy. I can see why that would be a problem. And so for the marriage, I'm like, yeah, dude, this is why I'm not going to say that's why she's sleeping with other dudes. I'm not going to say that because that's something different because she's got children and she should be thinking more than that. Mm-hmm. However, she's like, okay, she's doing the monkey branching thing. She's not going to wait to leave you to go find your replacement. Ideally, she's going to try to secure her replacement before she leaves you so that it's seamless. Now it's not going to be seamless. Now it's going to be messy because everybody knows. And I don't think she's secured the replacement yet. So now this isn't really the way she wanted to get out. She wanted to get your replacement and then drop you. Now she's going to have to fight you and drop you. And it's going to be ugly and messy. And this makes it hard because who's the man who's going to want to get with her right now while this is going on?
Everybody see her coming. They see her coming now.
Well, that's why she's trying to make it as messy for him and make him villainize him as much as possible to make it seem like, hey, I'm not the bad guy here. But she is going to have to explain some of that cheating and stuff. I don't think there's another 7-figure nigga in her future. I don't think that's the case. Certainly not the 8-figure one. I don't think that's the case. So we'll see how it goes. But definitely, there's a lot of numbers here. I think as it starts to get cleared up even more, this just becomes a cautionary tale, man. There's so much to learn here. There was so many red flags. I think she would have been good side chick material. Everything was in line for that. He went for the rest of it because he got some MAGA tendencies. It is not going to end well. She's not in a good headspace for that. She doesn't come from a good background for that. She confirmed literally every red flag that I've said for each one of those metrics. She's confirmed each and every one. And let this be a lesson here, y'all. Your red pillars and whatnot, Naba and preaching them, they don't know about this stuff. It's painful when you all hear it from me because you want to believe that it'll be simple and easy. Yeah, there are lots of nurses out there. There sure are. But just like 7-figure dudes, they're all the same.
All of them. Deal with it, nigga.
And there's a lot of military chicks out there. That's great and wonderful. But just like hustlers, they're all the same. Damn! Prince will tell you So, I mean, it is what it is. There's a lot of single moms out there. They're all the same.
Nigga, what?
They know how to put on that film a show. I know some women that was in some rough jobs in the military, but they know how to prince it up and look like the sweetest thing.
I'm not slandering them. I'm just saying, hey, let's just be honest. Hey, fellas, there's a lot of them out there. Okay, they're available. Tread carefully because they're all the same. There'll be some slight nuances and differences, but they're going to be the same. When you meet one, you've met them all, and it's going to be the same thing. Now it's your turn. How are you going to deal with it? Are you going to try to lock it down? Or are you going to just simply accept it for what it is and be okay with that and send her home? Or are you going to get yourself into a situation here and just hope for the best? Because here's the worst situation of all, Prince. The worst situation of all is that you do all this stuff. You got this chick. The money never falls off. The money never get thin. And she just gets bored.
That'll happen too.
You give her everything and anything and everything. And you start sitting up here shelling out thousands and tens of thousands a month to keep her occupied, keep her entertained. And then eventually she's gotten 5 of everything she could ever want. And now she's bored.
But you don't want nobody else to hit it. This is the problem with these guys. They have this archetype and they don't want no other man to put them paw prints on her.
Well, and you don't have enough money to solve boredom.
God, dog.
You can't make enough money to solve boredom. As a matter of fact, money increases it. King Midas, King Solomon. There's only so much you can want once you've taken care of that stuff. You've got all the Chanel bags, all the Birkin bags. What do you do when this chick just gets bored? So this is where it really breaks down. It's just going to be the two of you, and you both have to be okay with that. But if she got with you because there's an image in her head, eventually this is going to go south, and it just becomes a cautionary tale. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. We appreciate that, Prince. Eventually it goes south, and it's just a cautionary tale. And this is where we at with this. I've done my best to be a reliable repository of information and news for you all that you couldn't get anywhere else. I know tonight's program is running a little long. At least YouTube didn't cut us off. So you get double the pleasure, double the fun as far as this is concerned. And let this be a lesson. And by the way, just to say this again, because I got to reiterate this. Nothing against the light-skinned chicks. Nothing against the biracials. Ain't no hate. It ain't nothing. Just let us keep it real about what y'all are going through. That's all I'm saying. Can we just keep it real about what y'all deal with and what y'all are going through? Don't ask us to lie. Let's be straight up and real about where you been, where you from, what you seen, without your ego being in the way and getting bruised and you getting defensive and starting to demand that we say something different. Let's just be straight up the middle with it so we all know what we're dealing with. Let's do that. Let's do that. It's not disrespectful to say, hey, I know that line of work they're in. It's like, okay, let's deal with it from there. So everybody can be honest about it. But when you start demanding that everybody got to lie to you, this is how folk get walked off into situations. Hey, bruh, she biracial, she a nurse, she adopted. You ready for this? Look at my career. Ready for what? Look at my career. Okay. You're not marrying her career, in case you didn't notice. You're marrying the person. You're having to marry the person. Are you ready for everything that comes with this background? Because she's not going to be able to shake it, and that's never going to go away. She is always going to feel like part of a person. She's never really going to feel like a whole person. She'll always desire it, but she's never actually going to acquire it. Are you ready to try to be the crutch for that? Because that's what you're about to walk into. She will never feel like a whole person. That's impossible. She didn't grow up with that. She doesn't have a frame of reference for it. You okay with that? You think you ready to deal with that? She has this duality of identity. You don't. Have you ever had an honest conversation about that where she stops bull jiving and pretending like she does have a single identity? She doesn't. Did you have that conversation? If you didn't, you're going to find out. If you did not, you will find out. Take this as a lesson, everybody. The warning signs I told y'all about, it might not sound flattering. You might be a little bit awkward or shy about saying that. There's some cool biracials. Of course there are. I didn't say there weren't. But do you understand what they are? They're a person formed by a condition of history. Are you ready for that? And are they going to be honest with you? And will you refuse to accept any dishonest answers? Because the conclusion you may come to will be, yeah, there's only so far I can go. Are you ready to do that? Because if you're here to just make a deal no matter what happens, there's somebody willing to sell it to you. Just don't think you're going to be happy with what you bought. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support the nice program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Shout out to Karen. Thank you very much for your support, nice sister. We appreciate that. To Tom Sligg, Zachariah, everybody else here who has contributed to support the nice program. We appreciate that. If you are new here to the business, welcome to the Definitive School of Power Dynamics, the news outlet that all your favorite YouTubers hate to love and love to hate watch. As you can tell, our reach is global, interdimensional. And if you are listening to us, you are way ahead of the curve. Some of the things we say may make you feel uncomfortable, but it's here for your best interests. Ignore it at your own peril. Click that subscribe button, that notification button. Join us each and every time that we're here. If you haven't been to our Patreon, the link is in the description. By the way, we covered all these other things here on Patreon, so my patrons already knew about this stuff over the weekend, by the way. My patrons already knew about this stuff over the weekend while the rest of the internet had to wait until today. By the way, my patrons found out all this Saturday. They knew about all this then. So they've been way ahead of the curve. If you want to be a part of that, the link is in the description. I want to thank all of you for tuning in to a nice program. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black, sir. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business, or your biracial will handle you.